Oh, what's going on? Is this on console? No, it is not. It is not. I'm probably gonna make some people excited just seeing this on my channel. But no, it is not. Let me see here. Okay. Is my music background music? It's cranking in my headset, but it looks like it's background music on my stream settings. I'm placing my bet now. Max 2 hours before uninstalled? Did get you excited for a minute there? I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I definitely will. I will check it out. And I've said before, right? Like, I don't know how you feel about pre-orders. I recommend against it. I've been very careful parting with money over even big games. Like, I didn't buy Outer Worlds 2 until after the reviews were out, and I still regret buying it. So if you're at all on the fence, do stick around, because I will buy it. No, the mic! Hang on. Hang on. Are we back? Are we having that same problem again? All right, AC, let me know if that's better. Last time unplugging and replugging the mic did the trick. Much better? Okay. At me right away. At me right away if it happens again, please. Yeah, so definitely don't pre-order. I will be playing it. When I can show it to you, I think says a lot about their confidence. Because either they're going to sweep everything under the rug and pretend I never existed and I'm not their console player. Literally like the only one left. If they give me a copy and say, hey, you can post about it early, I would say, like, regardless of my opinion, that's probably good confidence in the state of the game, at least as far as they're going to get it. If it just, like, shadow drops with no reviews, you be the judge, and definitely be careful. So I started messing around with some stuff. Let me show you what I have turned on, right? So we're in Paradox Mods, which if you are playing on console, you won't get the mods part. So I wanted to keep it that way. My active play set, you can see most of it's disabled, is all the region packs. I've downloaded them all. We have US Southwest and US Northeast. Those are the only ones that are enabled. Now, against my better judgment, I didn't grab any from the guy that got hacked, technically. I was gonna start messing around with Move It and Anarchy. Move It was Cuboids, but it got taken over by Yen Yang, I think, who also does Anarchy. I'm not gonna go anywhere near Traffic, or he's the dude that got hacked, so like I'm all set. I'm not chancing it. And I did download a Boston map, but I downloaded the Boston map, which is a beautiful map. It says that it's not compatible with the game version. I don't think that's a big deal. But even with 529 tiles, this is the new 81 tiles because the tiles are smaller. But even with the new 81 tiles, like highway, I didn't realize this until today. Today I learned highways and rails and all that stuff, if you think about it on CS1, they go to the outside edge of the map, all the way to the edge of the world. The foggy edge that you will never touch because it's out of the 25 tiles or the 9 tiles on main. But in the case of Cities 2, your world, the 529 tiles unlocks all the tiles, but not all the tiles up to the edge of the world. And there is a part where the highway just dies and disappears. Like, let me load into this Boston map. Did I save it? I don't think that I did. I think I started it twice and just got so fed up. This is a bad sign, like that I'm not even getting to the point where I can save the game. Let me go back here. So if we go mods, if we turn on, if we go into what, playsets here, and we make the Boston map active, Again, ignore that it's got the line on it, the warning. We'll do new, we'll do that. We'll say custom. We'll go to Boston. Everything's turned on. Unlock all. Here, I'll show you this too. Wait, hold on. Paradox mods. Just so I'm not crazy. Down here, we'll turn on 529 tiles as well. New game. Easy mode. Boston map. New Boston 2. North American easy. We're unlocking all unlimited money, unlock map tiles. We have the tutorials turned off, whatever. We'll load it up. And I'll show you my frustration with this game, regardless of the number of tiles you have unlocked. Mod or no mod, the highway just dies. Like, it just, like, that. Where is it? Okay, let's zoom way out first of all. Let's look at the landmass of Boston. From maybe the angle that some of you are used to seeing it from. This is the south on the bottom of our screen. This is Cambridge and the Charles River. This is the actual Boston. This is South Boston over here and the seaport. And this is where the airport would go. They did a pretty good job capturing... Whoa. They did a pretty good job capturing the landmass, including Beacon Hill here. This might have actually been from... This might have been from an actual topographic map, if I had to guess. I didn't bother recreating it that accurately. But here's the thing that gets me, right? Like, let's say, okay, off on the edge of our map, where's our highway? That's the edge of the map. That, like, you cannot draw a highway off in the distance that actually goes to the edge of the map, like City Skylines 1. Like, this is the edge of our map. A highway just disappears with all that road still. Am I doing something wrong? Any PC players know what I'm doing wrong? This is how the game works? Because that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad that like the highway just disappears. And that, like, even if you can't build out there, like, I can't build roads? I can't build roads out that way? I don't know of a type map for sure, Sin. I'm guessing based on what I know about the topography of the area. It seems very accurate. It seems particularly accurate. But I'm really frustrated at this, that one, that this is how the maps trail off, and two, that somebody spent all this time on Boston and literally built one highway connection coming from the south that dumps into the seaport. Like, for everything that you wanted to do with the city of Boston, this isn't even really a highway that exists. Like, I don't even know what this road is. I don't even know who you are. Person gave up towards the end. Yeah, I think you can feel that kind of. Are we not starting soon anymore? Can I get rid of that probably? So that was super disappointing because I was playing unmodded. And I was like, you know what? Okay, technically I'll mod. I'll download a Boston and see what people did. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, that sucks. Maybe I can get 529 tiles and go build out that way. But no. It's just not a thing. I don't know. It's like it makes me sad because we could do that in the last game. Why do I want a highway that just disappears and 18 miles? Like, look at all that space, everybody. Look at how big the map is. But you can't use any of that, even with the mods, because it's so far out of band of what the game is supposed to do. That this is the space we can use. Like, then just show me that space. Like, why do I, you know? Here's the airline coming in. Why is it named Mountain Ranch? I don't know. But okay. That's the airline line. We might be uninstalling pretty quick here. I don't know if we'll make it past the 9:15 mark. But let's, I guess, start a new city on a plain Jane map and no mods, and we'll just see. We'll see what we get to. I'm really sad though that it just like trails off at the edge there. It's kind of stupid. It's almost like It's almost like the people that made this game weren't very good at it and should be removed from the project. Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the Boston map. I'm going to turn off 529 tiles. We have no mods. The only thing we have on technically is the region packs for Northeast and Southwest US. That's it. That's all we got. We got a little variation in the buildings, which honestly, you will see is not enough variation in the buildings. Okay. If you haven't been on here in a while, and I couldn't blame you because this wasn't a thing at first, they now have the normal mode and the easy mode. I'm doing easy mode because the game is still kind of broken at this point, and I don't care to challenge myself to understand what's broken and not broken in the game. And I just like, this is one step short of turning on the cheats for me, but I'll try it. I'll try and actually upgrade the city. Starting money, milestone rewards, loan limit. There's no map tile upkeep. That's a big one versus progressively more expensive map tile upkeep. No building relocation costs. Government subsidies. I think it makes it pretty hard to go bankrupt. So whatever, we'll see. What do we do? I really like Mountain Village as a map. I've tried to build on it twice now. I haven't played the new Anno. I don't know what the last one I played was. I think it was like 2 Annos ago that I played. Hard to go bankrupt even on normal. Yeah. Let's see. So what do we have? We have stuff from the Bridges and Ports DLC. It's not really jumping out at me. I mean, Sweeping Plains looks pretty good. Sweeping Plains or Mountain Village, do people have a... I don't remember which one I built on for the 2 of the 3 videos we could post. But I recorded 2 of the 3 videos. I was like, I'm not doing anything more of this. This is terrible. I'm going to post a video when I can talk about it. Let's do Sweeping Plains. North American. Mountain Village is fun. Mountain Village is pretty solid. Okay, I was just about to do Sweeping Plains, but then we got 2 Mountain Villages in the chat. I'm okay. I can listen to reason. I can try and make this one work. Like the thumbnail of Sweeping Plains. They're pretty similar. One's European though. Mountain Village is European, so we're doing Sweeping Plains. That's it. That settles it. What do we have here? What is it telling me here? -4 to 23 Celsius? Like, is this the range? So this is like about freezing to comfortable, right? Is this not even hot? Like, where the hell is that? Hey, Google, what's 23 Celsius? 73 degrees? Peak temperature 73 degrees? And the lowest temperature is only -4? What? Where is this? Where is this? Does San Diego have mountains? That doesn't make sense to me. Sweeping Plains is a hard starting tile, lots of hilly terrain. Doesn't handle buildings well. Yes, but you can landscape for free now. So that's something. Continue tutorials in case there's anything that I haven't learned. I probably don't know anyways. Rotham, that's a great sounding name for a CS2 city. What is this? Sweeping Plains. It's San Diego Plains. San Diego Plains, Missouri, with its famous mountains. That's fall in your area, sure, but I think that's the range, though, AC, is what they're saying. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, where is something so... Is there a place that exists that is that climate friendly, that barely freezes and only gets to 72? Because I would like to move there. I would like to move there, please. Airplane overhead. How's our bridge in the distance here? Okay. What kind of space do we have? Can I not even look at tiles yet? Like where is my boundary? Do I somehow have the I had this turned off. Okay, well, we own all the tiles now. That's good. Let's be honest, I'm probably not going to stick with it long enough to unlock all the tiles anyways. We'll be back in Riverrun or New Boston maybe before the end of the stream even, so let's be real. Rocky Mountain Plains, deep in the heart of Oklahoma. You know, Sid, you know where I'm building. What is this? Oh yeah, rendered tunnels now, by the way. CS1 players that maybe haven't spent much time on CS2, like you can actually see them drive all the way through that tunnel. Like if there's a blue car on the left-hand side coming under. Ready? Here it is. Like you can actually get, I think, can we get, if I get like down here, can we get down the road? No. That's good. Hey, this game came out, you know, over 2 years ago. This is normal, right? To just completely break the view with just a little bit of camera movement near a tunnel? Right? That's normal. Do I think Ice Flake will do better? You could change your name less frequently, Wanderer. So like, I don't think that they're going to do better. Happy Friday indeed. I don't think Ice Flake's going to do better because like if you look at their roster, their resume, what's the last thing they did that's remotely qualified is Surviving the Aftermath. That was 7 years ago now. 2019, 7 years ago. Like, what have they been doing since? Nothing? Because the other games that they have are a crappy overhead racer, a crappy overhead pool game, and a game that they listed that's on Steam and Google Play, and I was like, oh, let me click the link and check it out on my Android. Nope. Broken website, broken link, doesn't exist. Like, it's pretty sad that on the day they would get all that attention, they didn't have working links on their website. I don't know if it's different now. I probably wouldn't surprise me if it's still broken, honestly. Kind of want to go check. Somebody go check out Ice Flake's site and see if you clicked to the Google Play Store under the ice fishing game, if it's still broken. Because they either should remove it and take it down altogether, or they should fix the link to go to the new Play Store. I don't even know if it exists on the Play Store. I just know that I went to look because I was interested in Ice Flake, and what I found was a bunch of unimpressive, poorly rated games and a broken link. And it does not give me a lot of hope. So what is this intersection that they give us? Like, do we really need, like, think about what's happening here. There's a city that doesn't exist yet, and they were like, you know what? We're going to build a donut interchange and tunnel this highway underneath it. Like, no. Why? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't this be above? And why does it get pinched in like that? Only to save space? At that point, like, you don't even need the tunnel. Like, I'm so confused by this design. All their links are dead. You had me in the first half because you said from your Motorola phone, and I thought you were going to make a joke about it being the 90s. But then I was like, no, just because I consider getting my 9-year-old daughter a flip phone for her first phone since they're back. Like an actual phone that doesn't do anything but being a phone. This is going to have to change, but later, okay? So, let's see. Sorry. We could do landscaping for free, so look at this! Why would you want to build a city on a hill like this? Oh, it's all Steam links now. Get the hell out of town, AC. No, are they hiding? Are they covering their tracks? I'll be back, chat. Hold on a minute. Ice Flake Studios. They've got City Skylines now. Are you serious? Are you serious? They removed all the crappy rated games? I have zero faith. You are shameless scumbags That's what you are. I know, I haven't even seen your output yet, and I know because you're covering the tracks of the crappy games. Here, you know what? Don't worry, everybody. I backed up their website. Let's talk about what they would like you not to see. Hold on a minute. Wait, I've got it all very well documented. Don't worry. Plus, there's always the Wayback Machine if you need proof, and it's not just me doctoring things. Unbelievable. So what did their website have? It had some other things. Hold on a minute here. I'm the worst. I went to rant and then I disappeared because I went to the capture screen. I'm the worst. Okay, anyways, let me try that again with the microphone on. Man. Okay. Race Arcade, you ready? This is what they're hiding. Do I still have the site? Hold on. This is what got us here. Is because the website does not tell you about any of this stuff anymore. What are our games? Oh, our games are City Skylines 2, Surviving the Aftermath, the only relevant thing on their resume, and Ice Lakes, the ultimate ice fishing simulator. Visit the site. Very positive, rated on Steam. But again, like that's not what their website showed a couple weeks ago. This is Race Arcade, a top-down overhead game. It is rated 60%. 60% on Steam. This is Premium Pool Arena. I don't have high expectations when I look at this game, but I also don't think like what are you going to screw up about this? It's very basic physics, right? Like it should just be a fun, like kill a couple minute kind of game. No, it's a 46%. It's trash rated. And then this is the only one that they have up there still, which is apparently, again, a well-rated game on Steam. Props to them. But this is the day that Ice Flake was announced as the replacement for Colossal Order. This is who's taking it over. You'd think like the website that we're looking at now is the one that would have been up at the time. But no, because everything is an afterthought with this entire ecosystem. It's like, don't fix it until people complain. And it's the same thing with the games. It's the same thing with the development cycle. Like this is so when people ask me, do I have a lot of faith? No, I don't. And when they're going so far as to not correct the links, but further hide the crappy games that they've done, like our games, a game that they haven't had any meaningful impact on yet, Surviving the Aftermath, a game from 2019 that, by the way, the reviews are it's good, but it crashes a lot. Every single review that's positive for that game mentions the fact that it crashes all the time. And that's back in 2019, and that's in December of 2025. They never fixed the crashing issues on any of the platforms, console included. And then there's the regular complaints about Paradox in general just being promising the world and then never delivering. Who knows, most likely selling a remastered version soon for the fixes. That is shameful, honestly, because like it's one thing to put out these crappy games and to say like, hey, this is our studio. It's another thing to then hide that after the fact and pretend like, oh yeah, we don't We didn't do that stuff. Our games, literally, half of your games don't exist on this list. Why don't you want us to know about the absolutely stellar Race Arcade, Ice Flake Studios? Why don't you want people to play the premium pool arena? I know why. See, that's the thing, Sid. PDX is bad at controlling the narrative, though, because I never should have seen the frickin' premium pool arena. I am not an investigative journalist. I am not calling up Steam and opening up the page for the developer and going to dig into everything they've ever published to Steam. Like, I was just going to take their website for it, and their website told me everything I needed to know about how crappy their games were. It linked me right to them. But now they're going to pretend like those things don't exist. But they do exist. And the fact that they are hiding them concerns me. Also, can we point out something else? The fact that it is now 2026, 3 years after this game has come out. And what is the promotional image? It's the fucking Unreal Engine image. Sorry, I don't always swear around here, but I think it's warranted. 3 years, and we're looking at the Unreal image. You don't even have new artwork, you lazy bastards. People are collecting checks for this shit. Do you know what we deal with in the United States to get health insurance? How we get locked into employers because we don't have national health insurance? And these people are taking like a 6-week vacation on Christmas because they just don't work in December because that's what they do over there? We got shafted. We got shafted, Americans. The curse words are the least offensive part. Oh, man. That's really frustrating. PC would have exploded in that big of a city? Yeah. There isn't a video card that can handle a city that big yet. That's really like... So this gives me even less faith because it's not like, oh, we updated the website to also include cities. No, you're updating the website to hide the worst of what you've done. Which doesn't give me a lot of good feelings. Oh, this is literally... The About Us link takes you to the same page? Look at this. Our games. Go down, scroll down the page. Studio. Want to scroll down the page. Careers. Content. Literally. Everything here, these 4 buttons are on this page. This is the game section. This is the About Us section. This is the careers. This is the Contact Us. Huh. Let me use these links down at the bottom of the page. Contact. The resource you're looking for has been removed, but its name changed or is temporarily unavailable. Okay. Guys, come on. It's amazing to me because like this is basic web development stuff that should have been figured out maybe 23 to 24 years ago. Like, this is really basic stuff that, like, if you're gonna have a link on your page, it should go somewhere. Open positions. Surely that works. Okay, good. Senior game designer. Senior 3D artist. A game programmer. A game simulation programmer. A graphics programmer. Almost seems like positions you should have had filled before you took over this project, you morons! Excuse me. So that was City Skylines 2. You gotta be kidding me with this. Let's see what does a game simulation programmer do? Accept all cookies. Okay. Gameplay simulation programmer. We are developing an ambitious simulation game with an unprecedented scale and detail. What? So are you telling me that, like, this isn't even... This is listings that have gone up post announcing that they're taking over CS2 and they're not mentioning CS2? Is this for a different game? Like, they already working on another game to pad the losses from knowing that they're going to be fired from CS2 soon as well? I don't understand. Okay, well, they're developing an ambitious simulation game with unprecedented scale and detail. So we know that they are not talking about City Skylines at that point. We're looking for a programmer who is driven to solve deep logical and mathematical challenges through abstract problem solving. If you are hiring game devs to solve mathematical challenges, somebody should tell them about the calculator app. Optimization and creation of elegant solutions for complex problems. Burn it to the ground is my elegant solution for this complex problem. Burn it to the ground. Salt the earth. Sterilize all the men. I don't know. Like, you really messed up. We got to make sure this doesn't happen again. What will you be doing? Responsible for the core mechanics that bring our simulated world to life. Design and refine the fundamental algorithms that govern complex networks of interacting systems. Did I forget to pause the game? I paused the game. Okay. Work on systems that manage large-scale simulations with a massive number of agents. This is the problem. Stop with the massive number of agents. Guys, do you know how much RAM costs right now? Do you know how much video cards cost? Do you see what AI is doing to the hardware space? Please solve this problem by reducing the number of agents, you morons. Enable the players to shape a complex 3D world and make it feel alive. The skills you need to have. Exceptional problem-solving ability. If you were at a point in your career where you think going to work for a Paradox studio is a good idea, you should be working at interpersonal and life problem-solving skills before you apply those to a game engine that Paradox is managing. Strong algorithmic and data structure skills. I'm interested to know why that would be relevant. A solid foundation in mathematics and 3D geometry. What are they? This is not cities, right? Proficiency in C#, C++, or a similar language. Do you take English? Is English a similar language? Performance-minded, passionate about optimization, understanding parallelism. Experience with how to stand out from the crowd. Experience with Unity. It's not a skill you need to have, but it's a nice to have. It might help you stand out from the crowd if you're familiar with the engine we're building this game on and trying to save. You feel bad you derailed the Steam so quick? No, don't worry about it at all. I was already getting tired of the game. I'll show you my playtime. Ooh. Are they actually waking up to dots? That could be cool if the new dev actually understands, like, that there is a system to basically handle agency in the game. So when Cities 2 came out, and in fact, you may remember, you may remember from my year-end review when I pulled the clip of Morena talking about it, or in the documentary The Road to Launch, released December 2023, I believe. They talked about all their concerns and the problems they had with the upgrade to the Unity engine, and they were concerned about the engine and concerned about the engine. It wasn't the game that was the problem, it was the engine that was the problem. And now, all these years later, they're hiring for people with skill sets in dots. DOTS is data-oriented technology stack. It's basically a set of tools that is built into Unity and other things, but essentially, like, it lets you do entity systems right in the engine. And I feel like they probably weren't leveraging those things or weren't leveraging them properly because they had all those scalability issues. Like, there's ways you can make things work, but not if you don't actually lean into the new things and understand the engine that you're trying to build on. And I don't know that they did that. I'm not saying Unity is perfect or without fault, but it sounds like they wanted to point a lot of the blame at Unity instead of learning some of the new things that Unity can do. But, what do I know, though? Okay. Our office is located within walking distance from downtown Tampere. Due to the highly collaborative nature of work, we expect you to be able to work at the office. Due to the highly collaborative nature of the work, we expect you to be able to work at the office. Now, I will say, as someone that works for a company that is very remote friendly, it is incredibly liberating as a hiring manager to not care where people are in the United States as long as they are in the United States. That is my one requirement about location when filling a role. You have to be in the United States. Other than that, I don't care where you are or where you want to work from. So I always get a kick out of that, because, like, what are these guys doing that is so highly collaborative? Like, if this is the skill set that you need, solving complex problems that somebody else made, an optimization, core mechanics in a simulation, large scale mathematics and 3D geometry, I don't need some asshole on the other side of a cue ball making noise. And you're limiting your skill set to people that live in the downtown Tampere region. This is so dead in the water before they even put the first official patch out. I cannot wait to see this continue to burst into flames, and I will be warming my hands by the fire. Okay. So how do we feel about them? Not good. Not great. Worse now that we know that they're hiding half of their past resume and are incapable of basic web design. But all that's fine. They've got a Twitter, everybody. They've got a YouTube. It just keeps getting better. Why is the latest video? No, that can't be. 6 years ago is the most recent video, and it's the announcement trailer for Surviving the Aftermath, not even a release trailer? Okay. Hold on. We're pausing the synthwave. We're watching some trailers. We're starting with Race Arcade. Why can I not full screen? There we go. I mean, who wouldn't want to play a city builder built by this team? Am I right? The fast-paced action is just, I should leave my music on and just leave these muted. Like, don't get me wrong, like, did I enjoy games like this as a kid? Yes, I did. Was I also born in 1978? Yes, I was. So, like, so it's not really, you know, unhook is off, unhook, can we turn everything, hide all? There we go, okay. Okay, Ice Flake Studios. What else? What is Ice Lake? Let's see what the 30-second trailer for Ice Lakes is. This is my music, by the way. This looks janky AF. This is well reviewed on Steam. You know what it is? Think about it, and I don't mean any of, like, if you're into ice fishing, and you do you, all right? But like, this looks pretty crappy. This looks really crappy. This looks incredibly crappy now that all those fish hit at the same time. What is this guy? Maximum security prison documentary? Can they not give him a shirt? Okay, so like Premium Pool Arena. This is the other one that was pretty poorly rated. They get stuff on here that was not on the website. Oh wow, like you can feel the lack of impact on that. That's unsatisfying. Look at how like plain the physics is on that, how clean that break is. Oh my God, yeah, no, that's not at all. I can tell even without hearing it or playing it that is not gonna be fun. Play offline or with a computer. I think I'd rather play like a darts game. Okay, what else? What else do they have? What are these old, what is Fin Wars? Alpha gameplay. Since this was never on their website, I'm gonna guess that this never got released. Free-for-all team deathmatch bots. Okay. In case you're just joining and you're wondering what are we watching, we're watching footage from the developers who are going to save City Skylines. There's no hand on the gun. Do you notice the gun is just like floating out there? It is an alpha, to be fair. But I'd like to think even 10 years ago. I mean, hell, I got my hands, I don't want to say how, on the Doom 3 alpha back in like 2003. And it had hands. They had the hands figured out. This is, now keep in mind, this is something, it is alpha, yes, but this is something that they chose to put on YouTube as part of their resume. And here's the kicker. Here's the thing, right? Here's what I love about this so much. So they announced that Ice Flake Studios taking over for Colossal Order, and I go to their website and I find out about these games, and then they change their website around to hide the evidence of these games. But then somebody forgot to go to the freaking YouTube page and do it there too, because like your documentation of what you've done is still all right here, and it's still just as not impressive. What is Target Horizon? Let's find out. Let's do Target Horizon. Look, I can get down with the art style. It doesn't have to be nothing. It doesn't have to be amazing and everything, right? This is, it's Missile Command. They didn't even come up with an original idea. This is just straight up Missile Command. Plan your strategy. Apparently your strategy is having 17 missiles for every possible plane that might fly within the vicinity. If that is the kind of ammunition you have on the ground, you should be fine. Look at all those bombs hitting the tanks and no explosions. There's just no impact. This looks like a blast. Can't wait to try this one, guys. Yay. Oh my God. Okay, so Ooh, a 6-minute Fin Wars trailer too. This one looks good. Brace yourself, everybody. They were called Snowflake Studios. This is going so far back, we've got a name change and everything. We didn't make it long, Adia. I didn't uninstall yet, but I've also haven't started a city. I haven't moved in a single citizen yet. I said something about the website, and it turns out they deleted all the old references to the games they made in their website. So if you'll remember, Paradox was so happy because this is a game studio that's done lots of management games, and their games are Surviving the Aftermath, City Skylines 2, and the ice fishing game, which is only linked to Steam now. It doesn't exist on the other platforms. But they've hidden the evidence of their other games. So we're watching some of their other games from their YouTube channel, which they forgot to hide these videos. Because, you know, you probably want the ad revenue. Although I don't think they have ads turned on. I don't know. Why would you have ads turned on if your content is an ad? You want people to get to the ad, not to like get an ad for something they don't care about and then turn it off. Yeah, it's AC's fault. This is just wild. This is the studio who's going to save cities. They couldn't save their old back catalog. Isn't Surviving the Aftermath a Surviving Mars DLC? No, it is not. Ready? Here's the Surviving the Aftermath announcement trailer from 6 years ago. It came out in 2019. So they didn't do City Skylines 1. City Skylines 1 and technically 2 was both Colossal Order. Iceflake is taking over City Skylines 2, so they can now claim it as one of their games. But they still haven't done anything meaningful. So like this right here, this is fairly well reviewed on console as well. Like this makes sense. Like, hey, here's a building resource game. Somebody that is experienced in this could lend their experience to something like City Skylines. I'm sure of that. At the scale though, like this is a much smaller scale of a build. There's a lot less agents running around, which is half the complexity of what they're trying to do, or most of the complexity of what they're trying to do to make things work in a reasonable performance window. So that's Surviving the Aftermath. This guy, I keep seeing this pop up. Where is it? Where's his hat? Do you show his stupid hat? There's his stupid hat. Where is he? Right there. Make FPS great again. This game bombed. Splitgate 2 got unreleased because of its horrible microtransactions back to beta, and now it's back out and it's seeing like very dwindling numbers. Anyways, total sidetrack because it keeps reminding me to watch that. So like this is who's taken over. Ooh, the 2005 to 2007 archives. Archived content, but you still have it as a public-facing YouTube video. They don't represent any kind of release quality. Well, thank you for clarifying that. Let's remind you what Colossal Order's release quality is. Hold on a second. Let me see. How easily can I replicate this bug? Ready? Hold on. Oh, is it not going to do it now? Is it really not going to do it now? Oh, no, never mind. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's an ocean world. It's water world now. Water, see you later, man. Could be a weird Paradox Studio war where Colossal Order makes new content for CS1. Well, no, so they haven't even been doing the CS1 stuff. Tantalus, who made the console version port, has taken over CS1 for a while. So they did the last couple rounds of DLC, back when it was like the Mountain Valleys, whatever the hell that thing was. Country Roads Take Me Home and Mountain Valleys. Those 2 DLCs, I think, were the first ones. I could be wrong, though. It could have been even before that. But Tantalus has been working on CS1 for a while. So this is CS2. It came out in 2023. And you can still do this, too. Like, there's some things that are really awesome. Like, okay, check this out. CS1 console players, you ready? You ready to be angry that they couldn't just add this into the game? So check this out. Do we have like highway interchanges? I don't even know. Do I have to buy, like I have to buy intersections? Can I just like, where are here? Oh, I don't get development. How does that work? If I've unlocked everything, but I don't get development points? Guys. It's been out for 3 years. Okay, well, okay, like we broke that. So let's just say we have a highway coming over the top. It's no big. I wouldn't worry about it. The game's out any day now. Okay, so you got this road that you want to connect in, right? Like I want to connect. Let me see. How do I want to do this? Well, here, let's do this. We'll connect. We'll do this like we were gonna do an actual highway interchange, okay? So we'll come out, we'll give ourselves some space. What is this? 46 meters. Okay, curved tool. Wait, did I curve tool? I did, yeah. Okay, so curve tool out 64. We'll come down 2 clicks and out 64. So you get these nice measurements for it. 64 again and down 2 more. But then like when it's time to hook up into here, like check this out. Like, you can come all the way over to the road, make that your curve point, and like all of these points are correct. Like do you see what it's doing to the lane configuration? All of those points are fine. Like, imagine the trouble it would give you. But that's totally fine right there. Also, don't mind the fact that there's literally 0 support for this highway. It does not need supports. That's a thing of the past. Should be fine. But like this, just give us that road tool in CS1 and I'm totally fine. Oh, you don't see anything. Oh my God. See, this is why I need to not jump over to get angry at a web page. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm the worst. I'll get it sooner or later. Okay. So let me do that again now. You can see the tool, like, because that was useless. We'll come out here with a road tool. I don't even care where. We'll do kind of what I did before, but here, like, this is the thing that's so crazy, right? Like, is hooking this curved road back into this road. If you've played CS1, sorry, let me whip the camera around. If you played CS1, you know the pain of like getting the angle that you want. But in this case, like, I could just be in the middle of the road, decide like, oh, I'm gonna click my curve here, and that's fine. That's fine. I can come to the far side of the road and like change the configuration of how it's merging with the other traffic. And like, imagine if it was just that easy. Forget the traffic lights, but imagine if it was that easy. I just need these road tools. That's it. Just give us these road tools in CS1. I don't know why we can't have that. Why they haven't found out a way to change the way collision works. In fact, they've actually made road collision worse in one of the remastered updates. I'm assuming it's in the base game and console edition, but I only play remastered at this point, so I don't know. But they've made old intersections that I could make impossible because the roads don't fit together the same way that they used to. So they're actually making things worse. I'm sure unintentionally, but they're making things worse, not better. And honestly, like, Don't waste all your dev time on CS2 for console. If we can't, we're not going to get mods. It's honestly, like, I've played this game so many times and I don't think I've made it past 10,000 citizens on a city yet. Because when it first came out, it was so slow and chuggy and like it just was awful as the city grew. Don't tell me they didn't know that when they told all the creators you could only go to this capacity for this video and this much for this video. Like, they knew what they were hiding. You don't need an NDA to figure that one out. Shady as hell. Come out with like, oh yeah, the game's not ready. It's not hitting the performance targets right before the day of the embargo lifts. It's so nice of you to be noble about it. Anyways, save your money building console version and just put changes like this into remastered. It'll be fine. It's fine. If you can't make it work, you can't make it work. You obviously can't figure it out. And I'm not impressed with how it performs still on my 3080. So if you're telling me my console that has less power is going to make me feel better about this game, I can't wait to see that magic trick. So anyways, the road tools are way better. They will make you jealous, you know, when you go to start doing roads and you're like, and like all those intersections are fine. Can we not do this one? Is this one not going to let us connect through? Will you connect there? Invalid shape? Really? All right. Well, it doesn't like something about what I'm doing there. But anyways, you can do some crazy things with the road tools. Honestly, I seriously may not have moved anybody in, and I may have had enough of this. It's wild to me. I gotta check my stats. I don't know what that blur is. It's how the YouTube froze. Let me check my Steam stats real quick. I know we're in a black void. Hold on a second. 66 hours playtime total, and that includes my time in the alpha as far back as 2020. That's how little I have always liked this game. I cannot bring myself to play it. I'm not gonna uninstall it just yet, but it's pretty trash. How do we get over here? Hold on a second. We'll fix this. I'll update the stream title. Don't look at me type my password in, okay? $5,000 hours now. Yeah, I got a lot in the console version and in remastered. More time in No Man's Sky in the past 2 weeks than I've spent in Cities 2 since 2020. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Dismiss. Let's go back to stream settings. Let's change the title. Building a city in City Skylines 2 until Nevermind. Riverrun it is. Okay. So Riverrun's doing great. Let me get out of that mode. Can I get full screen projector over here, please? There we go. Beautiful. We're at 656 million. What's everybody at hours wise? 11,000 in CS1? 11,000? That's crazy. 5,891 in CS1, 0 on CS2. Let me look real quick. How do we get there? Manage game? Manage game? It's not manage game, right? What is it? Xboxers, help me. Profile? Customized profile, social, gaming? Where is time? Hey Google, what's 29 times 24? So I only have like 700 hours, a little over 700 hours on remastered. I don't know what I have on the original. Probably a lot. But that's just remastered. Remastered came out in February of 23. It was also pretty busted. Compare with, can I not just see all stats? Time played with friends. Adia number 2. Decoy number 3. I'm gonna see Kanga. No, Amanda, and then Kanga. Kanga's only got sub 3 hours on remastered. Did not hit the spot, huh? What achievements do we still need? What have I? There's a lot I haven't done, huh? Have the maximum possible number of guests at any 5-star hotel, 0.06. Organize 3 hotel events, 500 weekly guests. Take a loan in order to make an investment. Put all of your money into 1 million of investments, then don't sell any for 1 month. I mean, like, I could do all these, but have 5 garbage service points reach their capacity? 0.02 tells me one of 2 things: that is a stupid achievement, and 2, unfortunately, based on when it was released in the life cycle, I think Plazas and Promenades is probably an undervalued and under-owned DLC. I think it's one of the best, and it came out late, and I wouldn't be surprised if people just lost interest or weren't spending any more money on this game at that point. All the airport stuff, I literally have never built an airport. Transport 35,000 citizens in trolley buses. I was going to say, these are different achievements, though. I wonder how close Swampscott was. I wonder if we ever got that in Swampscott. A lot of campus stuff. Wait a minute. Oh, you need to do multiple schools. I think the academic limit is 48 academic works per school when it maxes out. So you would have to do 3 different university types in a city to get 100 academic works. For a second, I was like, that's not even possible, but it is. It's just, who is doing that? Apparently 0.05% of gamers. Mail, I've never put a post office in my city. Offshore drilling platforms, like, that's stupid because it's I don't play with unlimited ore or oil. Park maintenance service and a zoo, nature reserve, and amusement park in your city. I was saying to myself, like, of course I've done that, but I did that on console edition, not on remastered. Interesting. Okay, well, there's a lot that I could go back and get. Holy cow. This one's weird to me because, like, experience 1001 nights in the game, I have 0% progress towards that. I'm pretty sure that's how it was on the other one. And I know that I've let the time pass quite a lot. I tend to build with it outpassing on stream, but I've definitely built a lot with it passing. $25 tiles is really awesome. Is it a free upgrade if you own the digital version? I know you had to pay for the upgrade if you had a physical copy. So It's like if you're still playing this game on console, if you have Xbox or PlayStation, that is a newer Xbox Series or PlayStation 5, you can run remastered on those. I think it's worth it if you're still playing the game, and if you have it digitally, I think you might have a free upgrade for it. Yeah, 25 tiles is awesome. 25 tiles is really cool. So like, this is Riverrun. This is a map that is part of the base game maps, and I never considered it because it's a terrible 9-tile map. It's a really cool 25-tile map. Like, we have lots of space to play around with now. I'm building this. I mean, there's a lot of rough lines and edges here. I'm working on getting it to 1 billion first before I really kind of disrupt too much. But you can see, like, there's 100,000 people sitting in there, and there's a lot of room to expand on the edges of this, and I don't have a lot of high density. A lot of this is low density, except for like the actual core right here. Basically, this is totally fine. I'm sure this is not a big deal at all.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Should be fine. My beautiful park. This is a park asset, and the other half is handmade to look like it blends in with like one bigger asset on this block. And unfortunately, it does blend in really well when it's all on fire. It all looks like one big build. Can't tell the difference. Should be fine. So yeah, this is Riverrun, the map, and also the city. I named it the same as the map name. But yeah, I'm letting this one grind up to $1 billion. This is like my perpetual waiting spot, because you can see everything from here. You can see if there's problems. So like, this is the image that's going to be burned into the TV in my office. Because while I work, this is off to my left all day doing this. Days Past isn't tracked and remastered for some reason. I mean, I know why. Because they rushed it out the door. It wasn't ready. They needed to release it because they didn't think anybody would buy it post announcement of CS2. And meanwhile, who would have known at the time that we'd have 3 more years of remastered being the only, well, not the only, I guess you could play the original, but remastered being the best option for the next 3 years. Wait, what? Is that my stat? Are you comparing stats? 300,000 days played? I'm gonna guess I experienced 1,000 nights in that time. Haven't heard of burn in some time. Yeah, but you also haven't had an image on your TV professionally for 80 hours a week. If burn-in is possible, I'm gonna figure it out. Looking at the OG city stats. Ah. Okay, let's see if we can find them. How did I get there? Did I go to profile and then games? Okay, gaming. How far down do we have to go? Here's all the baloney that I play mostly with my daughter. Okay, stats on the first cities. Played 87 days. What is that now? Hey Google, what's 87 times 24? 2,000. 2,000. I also have some time on the original PC version, and then I have some time on alt accounts on on console and remastered alt accounts, so that I could play without anybody knowing it was me playing. Very early on in Cities remaster, that is. And then of course I played on PlayStation and Switch, so there's a lot of hours that add up. But it's crazy to me when people are like, "Oh, I've got 11,000 hours in this game." Like, you're not gonna learn anything here. So 87 days, Kanga and Adia, pretty close. Decoy, we got Kung. Really? Davina? Wait, what? Is this an accident? Did she leave the game running in the background or something? Because she has almost as much time as Apple at 20 hours, and I know I coached her through a city. Kind of funny to see her on that list. Fewest days. Ooh, this is a cool. I didn't know they tracked this. Fewest days to reach 100,000 population. I did it in half the time of Kanga and Decoy. And wait, Adia, are we giving away Adia's city building secrets? If she's not tracked here, does that mean she's never had a city with 100,000? Your Google answered the math question. Excellent. Okay. So time played, total days past 300,000. And then what is the last one? Total cash? No, not a 0x8 error. That's too bad. Well, it does comfortably say, do I have so much cash you can't display it? Like in Remastered, it doesn't track that. But apparently I have the most cash out of my friends as well, but which I guess with that time played, I would hope. Only 100K City was on the X's console. So much memories and progress lost. Total Clash is blank too. Okay, so something's broken with that one. Something is broken with that one. I went into tonight hopeful that maybe I'd get started on a Cities 2 build and it would be kind of fun and just mess around. And no, it's not. The road tools are better. That's honestly it. I like the realism look. Like I'm sick of this cartoony Art Deco building style for the low density residential, especially. They're the worst offenders. Other than that, I'm fine. I'm fine with Remastered. It does an okay job. If they gave us just the road tools, like I'd pay for those road tools as another DLC. Like you could charge us for that in Remastered. I don't care. That would be a worthwhile upgrade. Give us the dang Mr. Mason fall trees and the road tools, and I'm good. I'm done. I say that, but next time you have a cool building pack, I'll probably get that too. Too many people play with unlimited money, so it's not a metric that can be tracked easily. I really one of the things, New Boston is the first city I've really committed to that has unlimited money. I lose interest in the game when I don't have to work for it. And I've tried CS2 both ways. I've tried CS2 with unlimited money to just build and see what happens. And I've also tried to slowly build it up. Why are you getting out in the middle of the bridge? Is that guy gonna jump off the bridge? It is not the answer, Sim. It is not the answer. Look at the Vegemite fields. The Vegemite fields are the black mounds. The ground is polluted, forever tainted, never to recover from the foul Vegemite sitting there. It's used to clean grease from industrial machines and also to go on Kanga's toast, apparently. Don't like it with unlimited money? Yeah, so I'm the same. I like it, and it's not even that it's a challenge. It's just I don't know. It removes all of that progression and thought from the build, and it doesn't jive well with me. Although when I wanted to do New Boston, New Boston was going to be so chaotic that I was just you know what? Just give me all the tools, give me all the money. Let me remake the road 17 times if I want to. And we're not even there yet. I'm still just functionally building out New Boston. But it'll get to that point, right, where I'm trying to finesse and fine tune things, and we don't have mods. So I also like, I kind of want to build it in a more utopian way. I think that would be kind of fun. Like, yes, we want to recreate Boston, but then we want to try and do some better things than Boston did. And that's going to cost money from a budget perspective. But we're seeing what's possible from a money-making perspective here in Riverrun. We are at $659 million. That's crazy. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at where we're at. We're scraping by on electricity. I might have to add a new plant soon. I think we've got everything turned on now. We've got all these one-offs. The windmills. There's an advanced wind turbine in the water. There's geothermal plants at the ore industry. Is this even connected to anything else? It is connected. So at one point I had these kind of isolated pockets where they weren't even, but then it's too hard to balance the budget and say like, oh, I want 75% electricity, but then you're only getting 75% at one of these pockets. So it makes it a little confusing. Water wise, I think we've got everything buried. Yeah. So all our water intakes are down there. I shouldn't say buried. They're underwater. And then all the sewage is over here on the very edge of the city. So it's incredibly dangerous for boats or for the sewage treatment plants. I don't know. The boats may be fine. Depends. Depends on what hits it. If the Titan sub hits it, it'll fine. The Titan will just crumble. You won't even know anything hit it. Okay. So while water-wise we're okay, we do have to look at electricity soon. How are we doing on fire safety? Not great. But I had a fire earlier. Can I call it up? How do I get to captures? I think it's this one. Yeah, it was this one. So like, yeah, I don't have the best fire coverage, but I do have two large fire helicopter depots, which when there's a fire, definitely come out in full force, as you can see here. There's actually two up the top of the screen. You can just see the bucket of one, and there's another one like above that. But it's decent. It's decent turnout. Like they show up in force for sure. Police seems pretty good. Healthcare, deathcare, we could definitely be doing a little better. Like things are a little sad over this way because there's no localized healthcare, but also like we got 106 citizens. That's not that bad. We got 100,000 people, like 100 people are sick. It's not like we're in a pandemic or anything. Like we're totally fine. Deathcare, we're doing good. I'll eventually, when I get above 1 billion, I'm going to move some cemeteries back in and max them out so they look full. But right now I've got everything down to the crematoriums so that I can just sit over here, leave it running at 3 times speed and just make money during the day and not worry about it. A lot of choppers. This guy didn't put out all the trees in the background were put out though, AC. I don't know if you noticed that. The back of that house was like 75 blackened trees that were on fire 10 seconds before. So they were definitely doing their job, I will say. I just realized Kanga said delightful, savory goodness. I'm assuming in reference to Vegemite, and that's disgusting. You're not fooling anyone. Played once with Infinite Money, my first time playing, and I broke the city. Never tried again. Yeah, it's not necessarily the fixing all the problems. You didn't go bankrupt. It didn't mean that the city didn't die a horrible death of congestion and claustrophobia. Firewatch Tower is cheap, great coverage, most useful, highly recommend. I think I have some, don't I? I thought I had a few. So it looks like I got one in the zone there. Do we not have a couple? I thought I had a couple. Maybe not. No, we just got the little fire depots out in the areas where things burn. It's fine. Like they won't spot it until like this giant patch of woods catches fire onto a house. But once that house catches fire, then they're like, oh, there's a fire. And then they'll go put it out. It's fine. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Look, this isn't even going to be, it's going to be a single house fire. There's going to be a helicopter come and that's it. It's not even, we don't even need a truck. We don't need to worry about traffic. Helicopter's going to come fix it. Any second now. Helicopter's going to come fix it. Any second, the helicopter's going to beat the truck there. No, guys. Okay, anyways, the truck beat the helicopter there. So great. We got great service. We're doing golden. We're doing excellent. Sir, so we lucked out as a community is what you're saying. Every single building had an issue, didn't know why, so I deleted the map, searched for tutorials, been here ever since. ... Still don't know the answer though. Still haven't learned anything about the game all these years later, but hanging out with Mouse, so appreciate it. I will look at the senior care, the elder care and death care at some point. We'll look to cover the city once it's all said and done, fire in the industrial area. Did you guys set it? That is sus. Like literally the fire was blooming for the first time and they were parked out front. Sus. Prime sus. That is an arsonist right there. There was a fireman already in the building. That was decoy. Okay. Where was I? We were looking at some city stats. We don't have a lot of transit. Education. There's 0.1% uneducated. I'm assuming that's because they're like fresh out of the womb, but I don't know. Educated, well-educated, highly educated. So everybody's got elementary coverage. I don't think we have any public libraries. Does the collider just count towards everything? It lights up for all education? Okay. It's, yeah, job security in this city. That's why we put all the trees down for you, man. Okay, population, 31% seniors. Holy cow. That seems heavy to me. How does everybody do on this happiness spectrum? Residential, commercial, office, and industrial. I feel like I don't max them out ever. Is it like putting parks around the zones? Like, I don't even know. Do you have smoke alarms in all the buildings? I think I conceded on that one. I'm not sure though, because it technically costs. Policies. No, we do not. At $5, have we confirmed what the dollars are called? Because that says $5. Those are dollars down there. But then there's other things that are like, is there like a cent marker for something? Did they change that? Is it all dollars now? Those are all dollars. Oh, there you go. So what the hell is that? So if this is $2 per building, and this is 4, and this is 6, is it 4 cents per building? That doesn't make any sense, right? That's also supposed to be dollars, but probably translated incorrectly from another character on a European keyboard, is what I'm guessing, and that never got fixed, right? That's also dollars, right? There's not a different unit of measurement, and we're not like keeping track of pennies now in a game that doesn't display that kind of a metric breakdown, or not a metric breakdown, a breakdown of that metric, I should say, because it doesn't go into the actual coinage. So no, so the fires that we do see could in theory be reduced, I say, as another one breaks out, but sorry, they have to get used to the flames in the meantime because it costs, and we are on a path to $1 billion, and we're not going to get there by giving away things like free smoke detectors. That's the kind of positivity we don't have room for yet. I've never got to $1 billion though, so once we do get to $1 billion, then I will be totally fine to give away all the good things. Land value, of course, because we've got I was gonna say the Collider. No, we have the Green Cities one, the Eden Project. I don't even remember where I put that in the city. Where did I put that in the city? Like, I would think like in the woods, in the wooded area would be good. No. In the farming? No. College. It's at the college. We got an Eden Project, don't we? Isn't that why is that the airport? Where the hell is the Eden Project? If I go to place it, I can place a second copy, right? Because it's glitched. Yeah, it never tells you that it's out. Don't I have the Eden Project? Where the hell is the Eden Project? Oh, it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. See, but you can put down multiple copies of this. This is glitched. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Once you put down a monument, it is supposed to gray itself out like that. Like, I can't put another one because building already exists. But they still haven't fixed that glitch for the Eden Project or whatever. Don't know why. Get to 1 billion in no time. Exact. We're almost there. I just got to let it run. If I let it run next week at work, if I let it run a full week, I turned off my power saving feature this week, or I shouldn't say I turned it off. I set it to 4 hours of inactivity so I can leave it running a little bit longer before it auto shuts off. I've been turning off the TV, turning off the controller, touched it a couple times during the day. And I don't know, I forget what we were making. I mean, like, when did I post 600 million? Just yesterday, or, you know, so it goes pretty quick as long as I don't disrupt anything. If I disrupt anything, I could really throw it off fast, as we've seen twice in the city's history. Around 2242, I did a configuration and like the city just sat there languishing with a flat budget for the longest time. And then we've since got it back on the climb, as you can see. We want it going up and to the right, just like any good stock. Constant burn. We'll never run out of fuel. We're just going to keep making money. That's how the system works. To be fair, if we don't screw it up too much, it will just continue. So, okay, where happiness is okay. Land values off the chart. We found the Eden Project. We've got unique buildings spread out a fair amount. It looks like they really like the parks. I got to remember this to do more of these. Because, like, see how happy they are about having a park nearby? Or is there, did I cram a unique building in there too? Parks and plazas. There's some really underserviced areas of the city. We've got park areas. We got no public libraries. And we've got plenty of sports arenas. Specifically in the college area. Levels wise, we're doing pretty good. And import export. So if we take a look, one of the things that is very broken, if you don't know, if you haven't figured this, oh my God. Why?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
That's insane. Look at the number of fire trucks. Oh my God. Central Park. I recall Central Park in fall when the trees burst into flames. What a mess. Oh, Will Smith was there. Hoy. Well, smoke detectors wouldn't have fixed that one. We don't have any lost structures, which is good. Not yet, I should say. I was going to say, import-export. If you're having a problem, if you bought the Industries DLC and you have a not enough goods problem all over your city, that is very common. You can set down one of these warehouses. And the way that I have my zone set up, like some of these are not accessible traffic-wise outside of the district. So you have to have one of these in every cutoff zone. But as long as trucks can get here to a warehouse that is set to zoned industry goods, just generic industry goods, set to fill, it's going to try to deliver goods here and then to the city before it worries about exporting stuff. Just having a warehouse set to this solves almost immediately, almost exclusively, the not enough goods in the city. Now, there's a different problem that this city has, which is totally fine, and that is this one over here. Not enough buyers for products. They've got stuff made. They've got timber that has already been made. They've got paper that has already been made. They just need to ship it off someplace. Same thing over here, right? My factories are sometimes waiting for certain things. As you can see, like, they're not waiting for stuff that comes from other zones, which is good, except for the paper now. So they need paper here. That'll be coming over. But I have the local warehouses set to store lots of the things that are made here. And then if there's stuff that we need from another zone, we can bring that in, like over here in the ore. There is a giant warehouse over here that's storing plastics, which is made in the oil on the other side of the map. So, you know, if they need that thing here, it's either made here or it's got a giant warehouse storing that thing. And then generic warehouses in the city, again, set to zone goods and fill. How's our park? It's crispy. It didn't make it all the way across. Man, imagine you come to see the famous Riverrun Central Park. You come up here, up the, what do you call it? The escalator. And everything is just charred black. Can you imagine the smell of fresh fire? I mean, this guy's wearing the right outfit, let's be honest. Face mask and hazmat suit. When it's not burnt to a crisp, it's actually got a pretty good feel. What is this? What the hell is this? Have I not seen this before? Why would it do this? Okay, we'll come look at that when it's not charcoal. Like, is this a charcoal thing? Okay, hold on. Can we fix this? What happened over here? What is going on? Okay. Level. Where is it? This one? This one? Gravel? Okay, well, that's better. All those people just came up out of the ground. That's good. Okay. Drove 6 hours for this? Exactly. You should see the lines in the subway. And the homunculus at the bus station. So, yeah, import-export, we're doing pretty good there. If you're ever, though, running into that problem, especially with the Industries DLC, you need to have warehouses set. You can actually see them in pink here where I have them set up. One here, one over here. Because like the way that certain zones cut off one another, and I use the Old Town policies to manage traffic. Like if you're not going to this district, you cannot come to this district. Nobody's driving through this district. Same thing over here. So like there has to be ways to like get off the highway and get to this district if that's your only path. And same principle here. If you have commercial zones, you probably want to have a warehouse somewhere accessible to that commercial zone so that it can get deliveries and then pass those goods on to your commercial buildings when they run out of buildings, or when they run out of supplies, rather, not buildings. Wait, what happened to CS2? I mean, Ice Flake, Paradox, Colossal Order. I got too frustrated with it. I didn't uninstall it. I left it installed, but it's the cycle. Like I have never made a city past 10,000. I get so fed up and bored with it, and if I'm gonna play a city builder, like I'm just gonna go back to this one that works. So that was a fun excursion into CS2. Maybe we'll try it again next year, or next major patch if they actually update anything. It's a game that I want to work, and the road tools are so good. Like they showed that first in the dev diaries. I'm pretty sure the road tools is like the first thing they talked about, and there's a reason. Like it's a worthwhile upgrade, and then that's where the upgrades end in terms of usefulness. Okay, we are not looking very seriously at transit, but we'll take a look at what we do have. What do we have? So we got a couple of bus lines not doing a whole lot. We've got one tram line. Where is the tram line? Oh, that's right. I have a tram running from the park. From the amusement park over here to the zoo over here. So there's technically a road you can use to get around. It is a little bit of a traffic cluster, I will say. But we've got a lot of things going on here, and it doesn't back up to the highway because it is its own separate zone. But you know, you're gonna have a lot of traffic here. The motorcycle gang though, taking over the front of this non-stop. Like I don't know what the deal is with the mopeds and the wheelchair cars. Like the wheelchair car makes more sense to me. Like that person might have a mobility issue if that's how they're choosing to drive. I would hope. I hope that's not a choice. The mopeds don't make a lot of sense. You could go park those elsewhere. And of all the things to have pocket cars, like put the tiniest car in the game in your pocket. Why are you using all the prime parking? See, they just put their moped in their pocket. Oh, uh-oh. Guys, what's going on here? Did somebody die at the park? Can we not scare the guests off, please? Do animations not work here for these guys here? Like they just pull in, pull out, because they don't actually go into the amusement park with the hearse, the gurney. That's something. Oh no, there it is. Never mind. I was gonna say that's disappointing, but no, they still do. That is not in CS2. Fire truck pulls up to a building, fire goes out, truck drives off. There is no animation. There is no person. There's nothing that gets out of the vehicle. So like all this focus on the entities and the people and the teeth, and they didn't figure the things that drive to the buildings to support them with services should have animations. Crazy. Earnestly wanted to see you play it in vanilla now and see how you can get. And that's the thing, like I have tried a bunch of, so I have less than 70 hours since 2020. I got access to the game 2.5, 3 years before everybody else, and it is still counting me on that same timer. That's how much time I've invested since then, since the alpha days, the behind the scenes betas that, you know, the creators were sharing, and all the time that I've played it since it came out. Like I play it for 20 minutes and then I think like, oh, now I remember all the things that I hate about it. The thing that really triggered me tonight is the lack of being able to build to the edge of the map. Okay, now I'm not talking about... Now, if you go into the map editor, like you could go run this highway all the way to the edge of the map. That becomes your inside and outside connection on CS1. In CS2, the highway just disappears at this dotted line. It ceases to exist. There is nothing outside the dotted line. Then why show me all the stuff outside the dotted line? It'd be one thing if outside the dotted line is this. Is like the stuff actually spawning in from outside the world. It's why if you've watched enough cinematics on this channel or on your own console, you'll encounter edge of map fog at some point, because there are entities and roads out there in the fog that is almost 100. Thank you. The timing is amazing. Those are a bunch of cars spawning on a road that doesn't exist in the right half of the screen. It is the edge of the map connection. That doesn't exist in CS2. So you have this huge map and there's a void around it. There's no roads, there's no trains. It's just the line that disappears. And even with 529 tiles, whatever the full tile is, like you still can't go build out there. Like, it's like every time I sit down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it without mods. Like, oh, I'm bored without mods. Let me do it with the tiles so I can go to the edge of the map and fix this Boston map that I found. Like, oh, no, you can't do that. It's just like constantly reminding me why I don't like the game. And that is the state of mind I have been in with that game since 2020, since the first time I saw it in alpha. And I've thought about it a lot. Like, it's not... I'm not breaking NTA to say, because the game performance and look was fine in the alpha. Like, compared to what released, I think the alpha was in excellent shape. The thing that I didn't like about the alpha, and is still true about the game, and this is not breaking NDA, because like the game sucks. And it's fair to say that like it's so deeply ingrained in the design of the game. I never enjoyed it whenever I played it. That was always kind of sad for me personally, because other people were excited. They weren't vocalizing their concerns, and I was just like, okay, you guys like this game? Okay. I'll be over here. And I think if I had seen, I would have felt a lot better about myself and my opinion of the game that I had arrived at if everyone had been a little bit more honest and maybe shared their opinion of where they were 3 months after release. But, and I can't entirely blame people who've never had anything to do with software development before, but to think that a day one patch was going to fix performance that was such a problem ingrained into the game is downright foolish. But maybe, you know, you haven't been through this before or haven't seen meaningful software development life cycles. Like, the kind of change that was required was not going to happen. What the hell is going on with that road? It's animating really funny. The kind of change that was needed was not possible in a day one patch. Come to find out, it wasn't possible in the year 2 patch because some of these things are still just so broken. It's wild. It's just so wild. Edge of Map Fog is a celebrity on this channel indeed. Oh, she always makes an appearance. I never thought of the Edge of Map Fog as having a gender, but if you want her to be a she, I'm okay with that, AC. 81 tiles. You still get issues outside the 25. Like, campus, I have bugs. I placed the campus outside. Yeah, so that's totally understandable. But like with the 81 tiles, you can build a highway to the edge of the map. You can make it look like your road goes off to somewhere. And with the fog, right? With the fog, we can imagine where that somewhere is. It could be somewhere over there. It could be somewhere over the rainbow. It could be somewhere It's somewhere else, but we don't know where because we can't see out there because of that edge of map fog. It creates that illusion. And I think if we designed cities right? Like if you build it in a valley, there's a reason that your city doesn't go up that mountain. Unless you're trying to build Honolulu, and then you absolutely should build residential neighborhoods straight up the side of a mountain. That totally would make sense for that build. But it doesn't make sense for a lot of other places. So like you can constrain your build in a lot of interesting ways and use the 25 tiles to your advantage. And in the map maker even, right? So even in console, we can go into the map maker and we can design that connection to the outside world. And it goes all the way to the edge of the map, to the edge of the fog. But it's so weird and frustrating to me to just see highways disappear. Like, you know, like this is what, that's what highways do in CS2. Like they just end at the edge of the map. And they're like, how do they make that worse? How do they take that experience and make it worse? What the actual hell, Will Smith?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
So maybe those smoke detectors will be coming sooner rather than later. I don't know. We got to get to 1 billion. Times 3 speed. No smoke detectors. Didn't implement the outside connections mod. I mean, even without it though, right? Like just the way that the game used to work. That I think the thing that bugs me is like, there's a lot of things they could have done to listen to the community, to understand how people were playing the game, to understand what mods were popular, and maybe they need to build those things into the game. Like you look, like Traffic is doing lane management. Traffic is a mod, right? It's a great mod. It also got hacked, and we're lucky that it wasn't, I don't want to say smarter is not the right word, because they just weren't, they were looking to fly under the radar and hit one wallet, and they did, and they stole some money. But that could have been a whole lot worse. And, you know, I am not, like, I just don't care to make a game that I don't like playing that much a little bit more enjoyable by modding it if it means I have to take a security risk like that, where the largest creator on the platform is getting hacked and having malware uploaded and not noticing for days. There's a lot of things that went wrong there, and they shouldn't need mods to fix things like that. Look at the latest trailer, or one of the latest trailers, Dev Diaries, for Transport Fever 3. And they have the most important feature of Traffic mod, if you ask me, the ability to control what lanes can go to what lanes in the intersection. It's just part of the base game. It's part of making an intersection, that kind of thing would be useful in a traffic game. Imagine that. And yeah, it's crazy to me that, you know, we are the 3rd year after release. We can say that now. It's 2026, 3 years after release. And those things are still very much being fixed by the community. Like, you know, what did CO do for the last 2 years? I don't know. What has Ice Flake done for the last 7 years? Not fix all the crashes in Surviving the Aftermath, apparently, because those are still all over the reviews. And that was like a brief moment of hope for me, where it was like, ooh, they did Surviving the Aftermath and it's well reviewed on console. Let me go read those reviews. And then that's when all hope drained almost as fast as it arrived, because it's great, but it crashes a lot is almost every single positive review. It's great, but it crashes a lot for the last 7 years, and they never fix those crashes. So forgive me if I don't get super excited for Ice Flake Studios, because they are not going to save this. I'm just calling it now. This is a lost cause. It's going to sink the city's brand. I don't think we'll see a 3. And I'm starting to wonder, like, how many more games can Paradox screw up this badly before Paradox collapses? I don't know. I don't know how much money they have, but when Cities is your main brand and it's got 52% on Steam and there's not a console version in sight, and when it does come out, it's going to be the 52% version without mods. Whoo. Whew, it's not adding up to be a very positive future for the franchise. We don't have any road maintenance, huh? Don't really need to worry about it, though, because look at our beautiful flowing traffic at 81%. I'm okay with that. Like, where is it backed up, really? Here? Like, would you call that backed up? Like, it's red, but, like, it's fine. It's totally fine. Where's our problem intersections? That's looking okay. This is going to be one of the busiest ones here. Just a giant diamond. It's super simple, but it's doing the trick. Maybe SimCity will make a comeback. Oh, man. That would be pretty funny. Max is back from the dead. If I build on a mountain, it's observatories, fire roads, sightseeing parks, mountain lodges. Yes, somebody did. So that's another thing, right? Like, things that I can talk about, things that were done publicly around that fiasco. Okay, get a load of this. You want a kicker? For those of you that remember, and for those of you that don't, we'll take a quick step in the old Wayback Machine. When was it? I can tell you when it was because I put out a video like the day after. I wasn't making cities content. And actually, I do want to apologize to members of the channel. I know I streamed a lot last year. I posted 3 videos in 2025. 2 of them cities and 1 of them surrounded, and 1 of them is AI Attenborough talking nonsense. But let me see. Okay, so 1 year ago, their email remoted in from home. Oh, I don't have the stats turned on. Hold on a second. Turn off. It was November 1st, 2024 is the day I posted it. Let me see if I can get the dates. I definitely threw the dates in here. Late Monday evening. It was over the holiday. It was, so Halloween. Current version is safe to know. So they fixed it on Halloween. It was like out for most of the week. So a threat actor got into the account of the creator of the mod. And they put malware inside the mod. Now that mod, or rather that malware, was designed to skim funds from a very particular type of crypto wallet. I don't know if they just happened to know there was an exploit that was easy to deliver, that they thought would fly under the radar easier. Essentially, anyone who had the mod installed and ran the mod, probably updated the mod and pulled down the malicious file. Their response was, hey, you should scan your machine with Defender. We've removed the bad file. You're probably fine. Except at the time, and let me double check this because I'm pretty sure I have the screenshot. I'm pretty sure I have the screenshot in my video. Hold on a second. Can I just bring the video back up? Where do we get? Hold on. Oh, this one unhooks power. Okay. Let me see. Because this is important. If I go into studio mode, I gotta set this up easier. That's webcam, that's capture. Window? That one. Okay. Defender was PC, but if you were running it on Mac, you're probably safe. You had to be running it at the specific time. So there's if you want, you can go back on my channel and there's a video from November of 2024. It's over a year ago. So you're probably safe. But essentially, so I did a rundown of this. I read the release, but then I dove into some of the details of it. So they said there's a potential problem. It's in the traffic mod, right? Which at the time was the third most popular, behind Move It and Anarchy. Like the top three, hundreds of thousands of people, 300,000 people subscribed. If they happen to turn their computer on during that time, they probably got the update. Now, they said that they removed the file. You should run a Defender scan. Hey, you'll probably be fine. But here you go. This is a site called Virus Total. You can throw a sample up into the cloud and it will tell you what antivirus vendors think about that. 6, at the time they said, hey, go scan it with Defender, you'll be fine. Defender wasn't one of the products that was detecting it as a virus. So it is the most irresponsible advice they could have possibly given. Hey, go scan it with a thing that definitely won't catch it. Now, a week later, Defender was catching it, as were some other vendors. But you can see here, there's 6 vendors that were detecting it at the time of recording my video. And you probably haven't heard of most of them. Maybe you know CrowdStrike because of the incident that happened. But other than that, like, those are not consumer products that you're running on your home PC. And Defender flat out is on the undetected. It's one of the 68, 66, my math is horrible, that weren't detecting it at the time of this recording. So like, it's so freaking irresponsible to say like, oh, go do a Defender scan and you'll be fine, because that is not the case at all. Meanwhile, you might have been fine because maybe you never ran it, or the file got replaced and it never hooked in to try and steal your crypto wallet because you didn't have a crypto wallet on the machine. But here's the kicker. Here's the public facing side of this that I guarantee they don't want you to know. Because what Colossal Order and Paradox were saying is that, hey, and this is very standard corporate post-breach speak. Like, we are working with third-party experts to resolve and understand the issue, and we'll update you when we have more information. Which is like what every major breach that happens, like they kind of have to say that, and then they'll get information once the experts have gotten there. Except I didn't see them release any information publicly that wasn't also part of the information John Hammond released publicly. If you don't know who John Hammond is, that is totally fine. He's a security researcher. He does videos. I want to say he works for like Huntress or somebody, but he does like some very cool stuff. Like if you're into coding, he goes into the malware for like an hour. But in the last 15 minutes of the video, he kind of breaks it down, layman's terms. What did we learn? Let's lay it all on the table. And I'm in John Hammond's Discord as well. Like lots of people are in John Hammond's Discord. All kinds of people share malware research and like detonate files and talk about malware in there. One of the Reddit mods for CS also happened to find their way into that Discord and was asking questions like, hey, could you unpack this and tell me what it is? So Cities and Paradox are saying, hey, we're working with third-party experts. And as far as I can tell, the third-party experts were given the file to a fucking Reddit mod and sending him to a random Discord. Because they didn't give us any information that didn't also appear in that John Hammond video on the same fucking timeline. So go ahead and tell me that you worked with a third party. Care to say who that was? Because usually it's the security vendor who can't talk about the customer because they don't want to disclose the breach. Certainly the customer can mention the frickin' security vendor they hired. Who did you hire? Probably fucking nobody, because they sent someone that doesn't work for them, a Reddit mod, to a third-party Discord. And don't get me wrong, he got good information, but not before, and I got a screenshot of this somewhere. Not before, though, he fucking told So somebody was like, hey, I got hit by this malware. It stole from this crypto wallet. And the Reddit mod instantly was like, nope, that's not credible information. Ignore that. That didn't come from cities. Ignore that. When actually it was the fucking lead that broke the case. It's from a security professional perspective, it was one of the most frustrating things I've ever dealt with in my life. And also that guy's kind of been a cunt about the console community in general. So he can shove 2 up there and just sit on it. Because he's an asshole and he disregarded an actual concern from somebody who had money stolen from this to say, that's not anything we can confirm. Yeah, but that dude has the malware on his machine and he can confirm. So maybe you should take a page out of how you mod Reddits and shut the fuck up and let the people that know what they're talking about talk about. Because this isn't the place where the Reddit rules run everything. This is fucking real life and people are getting money stolen. And you're saying, no, don't pay attention to that guy. I didn't give you the information, so it's not important. Like, you're a fucking idiot. It was really frustrating to see all this shit. And then I found out, like, that same guy was saying, like, oh, you're just trying to stir up shit with your hacker and your fire. It's like, no, you guys are really underselling this situation, and we're all really lucky that this wasn't a more serious incident, that it wasn't a more skilled threat actor, that it wasn't somebody doing something like an info stealer that could have stolen passwords from 300,000 plus of your players. And you're out here saying that we're hiring third-party experts to work with us when you sent a Reddit mod a file and said good luck. And then he told a malware research community to ignore the actual lead that broke the frickin' case. I'm a little angry, Mina, yeah. We're talking about computer security and cities too, and it lights all my fires at once. It's like throwing gasoline on an angry fire. Whatever that means. So anyway, so I put this video out. Seriously though, the John Hammond video, like, even if you were not the most technical, you could fast forward like the last 15 minutes. And one of the really revealing things, like how the problem kind of started to begin with, is the creator of the mod reused passwords. There are open source intel sites, right? If you have been part of a breach, you can go to a site like Have I Been Pwned? And you can type in your email address and it will tell you all the different breaches over the years that email address has been part of. And why you should never repeat passwords is because if that one password is reused at a site that gets hit and you reuse that password someplace else, well, that becomes a really easy way into your account. And that's what the creator of the traffic mod was doing. You can look up their email and you can search that in open source information on data breaches. And you could see that they were using not only simple passwords, but the same password again and again and again on multiple sites. So it was pretty easy to breach that account. As a response to this, I don't even know if the response is in the video. It might have been a thing that was after the fact. But they did mention that as part of this, they were going to email the creator of the mod anytime their files changed. But now that you've made that information public, and if you're a threat actor who isn't a complete brain dead idiot, well, if you insert malware into somebody's chain like that, there's 2 things you could do. Since they repeat all their fucking passwords, you could just log into their email, create a rule to automatically delete a mail that uses this format from this address and they never see it. Or you change their password to their email too and completely lock them out of that account as well, and then they never get the notification. So like their response was a really their response was like a parent who doesn't know how the internet works, turning your monitor off and saying like, haha, now you can't get on the internet. I just turn the screen back on, Dad. Like, what are you, stupid? Like, it's just like, that's not how you fix it. So maybe they should have actually hired a third party external, but I guarantee they didn't pay a fucking penny. And if they did, prove it. Tell us who the vendor is you worked with, because the vendor would love recognition so that somebody else goes to them when they have a breach and a need. You admitted to the breach. Why can't you admit who you worked with? Because you didn't work with anybody. You didn't pay a professional. You sent a guy who Reddits for you, who you also don't pay, to go throw people off of legitimate leads, mind you. Great work, guys. Bang up job, fellas. Take 2 weeks off for Christmas and we'll give it to somebody else. So anyways, that was the traffic mod fiasco. Welcome back to the void. Traffic's backing up a little bit here. I wouldn't worry about it. It's totally fine. Okay. We're calm now. Everything's good. Everything's chill. We're back in good old 2509. $650 million in the bank. Checking out our amazing traffic flow. I mean, seriously, like 86%, 100,000 with intersections like this. I mean, come on, what do you want? Well, I'm gonna smooth things out. Definitely over here is one of the trickiest parts that I haven't figured out yet, is like what to do over here on this half of the city. I'm not really sure. I've started to like build up the ground a little bit. We might do some of that. I got to figure out how to feather things off over here. This is the tricky part that I'm not sure. Traffic wise also, we'll see how this handles as I build more of this out, but we'll get there. Happy to circle back on that. I am not one to shy away from things I have previously talked about, especially security issues and my distrust for cities overall. Like, I'll bang that drum for a while still. But do go back. Like, if you want more information that was contextual at the time, I did a video on it. I was accused of overhyping it and trying to do it for clicks. Like, I love this game. I love this community, and I work in cybersecurity and threat intelligence for my day job. And it's like the perfect convergence of all things that matter to me. And it was handled incredibly poorly. I'm pretty sure I can dig up. I'm pretty sure, because I messaged another person that moderates the community at the time, because I was like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And I'm pretty sure I documented that chat that later turned out to be the lead that they needed to crack the case. Okay, we're talking about Thor here, so that, okay, timeline wise. I'll have to find it. I'm pretty sure I sent a picture to him of the chat and been like, you shouldn't talk to people like this if you're getting their life savings stolen, and then saying, please disregard this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. Okay, it's around this time frame. No, I forwarded the message and the message was deleted. Oh no, that's the okay, so the malware writer commented in there and they deleted him and his comments. Okay, I definitely have it. I definitely have it. I also have him telling me off about the about trying to clickbait this stuff. Which is wild, because like, you're doing damage control for a company that doesn't pay you. Like grow a pair. I'm sorry. Or like, and I don't mean to be misogynistic, like grow whatever it is that maybe a spine. Is that okay? Or we're not being offensive to invertebrates. Like grow a spine. You don't even get paid by this company, and you're being like unapologetically just bending over to defend them. To say that I'm clickbaiting while you minimize somebody losing their savings because their crypto wallet got hit. And just because it wasn't a crypto wallet that everybody had, so this guy must be lying. But again, it was literally the thing that pointed them towards the problem. Like, oh, wait, let's look at it from this perspective. What is trying to touch this crypto wallet? Oh, this crypt over here. And that's how they found it. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's see. Okay, okay, sorry. Let me and I've been bad about jumping back and forth on just chat, so yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So like the distribution of that malware could have been a lot worse. Like if that was somebody, let's say, okay, so there's two kinds of groups, right? We usually think about espionage. Let me put so there's two kinds of well, I guess there's three kinds of things we can think about. Hacktivism is one thing. Hacktivism is like altruistic, anonymous activity. Like we're not making money, we're not doing it, we're just doing this to do it so that you can find out about the government corruption. That's hacktivism, right? Hacking with a purpose that's not necessarily a monetary gain. That attack could have been so much worse in the hands of a capable actor who either could have leveraged that knowledge of getting into the account to, say, a group like a nation state. Let's take China nation state actors, for example. Incredibly good at espionage. They're not trying to do damage. They're not trying to influence operations like Russia and Ukraine right now. Like Pakistan and India constantly going at one another. Like a nation state, like a China nation state actor is trying very much to hide under the scenes, to lay in wait, to steal more and more data, but never be found. Alternatively, another sector that you have to consider is what's called e-crime. And these are groups that you probably have heard in the news at one point or another. It's, you know, the Lockbits, it's the ransomware groups, the WannaCries way back in the day. That could very easily have been the couple 100,000 people who turned on their computer that week and got the update. It could have been ransomware, but it was something very specific looking for a very specific crypto wallet. So it's kind of wild again that it happened. I mean, it happens all the time. It's always interesting when it hits a space that you're close to. But very lucky that like something as big as Traffic with 300,000 plus subscribers got hit. And then they just like, oh, we're going to attack a crypto wallet that two guys in the community have. That's just wildly bad luck for those people. So yeah, so it's wild times. So and every time I go back to CS2, I think like, okay, I'm bored, maybe mods would make it more fun, and I pull up the mods list, and sitting right there at the top is Traffic, and I say to myself, nope. This game isn't that meaningful to me. Certainly Cities 2 is not meaningful enough to me to take that risk. Because I know how poorly that person's security was at the time, and how poor it had been for years with multiple repeated passwords across multiple accounts. and maybe they fixed some of that. But who's the next person that gets hit that doesn't understand that security? If there's one thing that you take away from this stream tonight, please go change any passwords that you repeat. Because if that Joe Schmo site that you logged into once with that password gets hit and you reuse that password on your Gmail, they can reset that. They can reset every other password because now they have your Gmail. So be smart about passwords. Use a good password manager. LastPass is not a good password manager. They've been breached again in 2025, so I'd stay away from them. Oh no, don't publicly admit that you repeat them. So I recommend 1Password personally. It is not sponsored in any way. I don't do any kind of sponsored content. I recommend 1Password. It works on iOS, Android, and your PC. You can get a family plan as well. There is a physical file that you need to back up as well as a complex password. Put that physical file someplace safe. Someplace that you have backed up, but also not someplace easy to steal. It'll take you like 10 minutes to figure it out and set it up, but it is worth that because... See, Adia, that's the thing though. It's not about the money that you have now. If you have any capacity for credit, they can open up cards in your name. They can open up a mortgage in your name. They can cause all kinds of trouble. So it's not necessarily about what's in the account now. It's all the potential that your accounts have and your identity. So yeah, put it on a removable USB or thumbstick. Have a backup of that too. But I did need to go. I think I've had 1Password for, I don't know, 5 years now. And I did have to go recover my key and reset it. And I needed that physical file one time. Made a mistake making and fixing coding, missed the line, one letter. Inexperienced coder can lead to configure. Yep. And I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like, we're talking about traffic. We're talking about something that should be built into the game. We're talking about something that 300,000 plus people should not be relying on a mod to fix. Yet here we are. Like, the only reason that I'm talking about this is because the dev was sloppy and lazy. And I think that's fair to say now because they got fired for their inability to manage the game. So like, 6 months ago, if I said that, like, you're being hyperbolic, Mouse, or you're just being a little complainer. Well, no, apparently not. Because apparently Paradox didn't think they were good enough to keep paying and remove them from the project. And instead put a company on that we've talked about earlier tonight, can't even update a website, and apparently would like you to not know about half of the games they've made in the last 10 years. Because they removed them from their resume, basically. It's not a good look. Yeah, Samsung Chrome especially is bad. So don't save your passwords in Chrome, people. Really bad idea. One of the most popular types of malware is called Info Stealer. And one of the most popular flavors of Info Stealer is a Chrome stealer. All those passwords you have saved in Chrome, if you click on the wrong link, go to the wrong website, those are all gone instantly. Delete those from your Chrome. Don't save passwords in your Chrome, please. It's awful. And it's not that it doesn't work. It works. But the attackers know that it works, and they target it. There's also one, you might be able to read about this one in the news. Let me make sure I'm not, hold on a second, because I read a lot of Intel reports. And sometimes I want to make sure I'm not talking about stuff before. Okay. It is public. Zoom Stealer. So there's a thing that's been going around called Zoom Stealer. And that is the way that Chrome accesses Zoom links. Like if you're ever connected to a Zoom link at work, there is attendees and meeting topics and contact numbers and all sorts of things in the invite, in the meeting details, which can be scraped from Chrome. So it's some pretty scary stuff you can derive from just simply getting on somebody's Chrome that happened to click on a work meeting. So info stealers are pretty common. And again, Zoom stealers are the ones stealing the meeting info. But you would be horrified if you went to an open source Intel site and searched your email address, I bet. Because chances are your email's been involved in a breach. And lots of people have had info stolen and may never know it. Because you may just be one of thousands or tens of thousands of entries in a record, and somebody sells that on a black market forum like, hey, I've got 500 username and passwords, and it includes sites like Discord and Gmail and Steam, and I'm selling it all for $50. And it may be just sitting there in an archive that somebody has or has not bought, and it's just waiting to get actioned on. So you should use a very complex password on your password manager, and you should never repeat passwords across sites. I cannot tell you enough. And now we know what Adia is doing for her Friday night. Is updating passwords, apparently. If I can recommend, start with your most important ones. Any banking sites, start with your email. Start with any banking sites and social media, because those are ways that people convince others to give up details about you. If you start there, that's a good spot at least. But the email is one of the most important to be really secure. Also, while you're in your email changing your password, double check that nobody has gotten in there and set up auto forward or auto deletion rules. Because that's another thing. Like my cousin fell for a fish or got hacked at some point. He had a really simple password, so they could have guessed it. But when I was going in there to help him clean up, I was like, okay, you're going to get a password manager. We're going to do it from a clean machine. You're going to change your email password first, and then we're going to go look at all these other things. And the first thing that I did before we left the email client, it was Gmail, was we went in to look at forwarding and automatic rules. And the attacker had set up a rule to automatically forward all emails, which would include things like password resets. And also to delete, they got into their Amazon account and sent stuff to a third-party address. So they deleted automatically Amazon emails that were coming in to confirm orders. And I knew right away to look for those two kinds of things. But like, if you're going to go in there, like if you haven't checked in a while, check your Gmail if you use Gmail or whatever you use, and make sure that there aren't auto forwards or automatic rules that you did not create that are hiding mail that you should be seeing. In my case, email is not a good way to get a hold of me. I have over 100,000 unopened messages in Gmail. I use it only to reset passwords. So if something else is getting sent to me, I'm not opening it. I don't know how this stream evolved into this, but I'm here for it. It's better than CS2, I will say. Oh, I wish we had more church assets. I want more of those little church buildings, and it's a unique, and you only get one of them, and it's bogus. The local pizza place? Are you reusing passwords for the local pizza place? If you are, that's like one of the main culprits, because they don't know what they're doing from a web design perspective. They get hit, and then all of a sudden they got all your passwords. It started with it's always the edge of map fog. That's what it is, Michaela. We can blame all of this on the edge of map fog. I do really want to, and I don't know if Sin is totally tuned out or if he had to take off, but I do want to try a Cities 2 city at some point. I really do. And every time I sit down and do it, it disappoints me. And I was like, you know what? Tonight's going to be the night. And then we found out about them hiding their resume on Ice Flake Studios. I enjoy how the conversation devolves, though. I'm assuming those of you that stick around for the ramblings might enjoy it also, so thank you. Stephen King did have that one thing to do with the mist. I was just extolling the virtues of... I'm not like a huge Stephen King fan, but there are a couple. There's a novella, it's 4 different stories called Different Seasons. And 2 in particular. One of them's called The Body. And that one is Stand By Me. And the other one, I think is it Rita Hayworth? Rita Hayworth and and Shawshank Redemption, which turned into the movie Shawshank Redemption. The Body's really good, but it's different. It's like a different perspective almost. They kind of turned Will Wheaton's character into more of the focal point. There's more of a narrator to pin on. But I really enjoyed a couple Stephen King things, but this is funny because I was just talking about this earlier today, I think. About Different Seasons in particular. Really good. The Body in particular is, I think, a really good, it's a well-written story. It's a fantastic movie. Rip Rob Reiner. So sad. He did so many great things. And it's really interesting. I saw a behind-the-scenes documentary post his death of, I didn't realize how troubled like all the kids were, and they were troubled in a way that was like perfect for their character. It's kind of weird, but they had some tough shit going on, those kids. Google is telling me that a number of accounts I will not reveal have the same password. Oh my God. I am the person in the security modules. So here's the thing, Adia, right? Like, and don't admit to this. I am not asking you to admit to this in chat, just like I'm not asking for that number of accounts that I definitely don't want to know have the same password. But it's not that uncommon of an angle into networks for a user to get breached, to have all their passwords stolen, and to also use that same password on the somewhat but poorly secured company network. And then all of a sudden an attacker has access as a basic user on the network. And access as a basic user is a whole lot better than no access at all, or trying to get it as, some kind of system exploit from the outside world. Like, starting with privilege of any kind is always appealing. Yeah, Sin, you might know, there's 2 others in here in the book. One of them's called Apt Pupil. Didn't they make that into a movie? I don't think I saw it, but I feel like that is also a movie. So is the only one they didn't do is The Breathing Method, or is that a movie just by a different name? Anyways, if you're at all interested in Stephen King, I can highly recommend Different Seasons. Oh, I got some awesome stuff. Where? Okay. So, Kanga, thank you for, I don't know if Kanga's still in the chat. But she sent me this awesome book for Christmas, Boston Then and Now. And it's a bunch of like old shots of the public gardens and obviously new. So like the old versus the new. Here's Beacon Street and Charles Street. Very cool stuff. So I love this. This is awesome. And she also sent me, they have a ton of these for all the different neighborhoods, but Boston's historic North End. A lot of great history in here. So much good stuff and inspiration. And then I got this. It's totally stupid and not a very good book. But it's a tea ride. It's a kid's book. It's a kid's board book about the Boston transit lines and all the places they go. So I've been getting, I got a lot of stuff. I am so heavy in research mode, like my brain hurts. I have been writing and researching and pulling infographics and accreditation for those graphics and how they are sourced so that I can do this without hopefully any kind of issues. But I am making progress on the Boston documentary, so I'm excited for that. No. Get out of here, Will. Get out of here. Kung's off to bed. Have a good evening. Thanks for stream. Thanks for stopping by, Kung. I appreciate the fires, but you enjoy them more, so have a good evening. Yeah, I've got so many things. I don't know if I've ever showed this one on stream actually, but this is one of the main reasons for me wanting to do this documentary. It's a book called Gaining Ground. I had such trouble. I spent over a year trying to find this. I was finally able to get a copy of it used and pretty beat up. I don't know if you can see the crease in the cover there. It's pretty beat up. I got it for $100. It's totally worth it. It's probably the best single account. Nancy Seychelles also did the, what is it called? She also did this one, which is the Atlas of Boston History. And this has a lot of good, so many, like this is like a textbook basically. On Boston, on economic patterns, on population growth. It's pretty good stuff. But Nancy Seychelles is the editor behind that, and then she is also the writer technically of Gaining Ground, and this is just the most amazing account of land making in Boston. It is not landfill. It is not reclamation. It is made land. And I'm happy to die on that hill with Nancy that it is made land and should be referred to that way. Anyways, there's going to be a lot of books that I'm getting through now. One that I just started is upstairs on my nightstand. It's called People Before Highways, and it explores, the anniversary is actually coming up, January 25th, 1969. There was a secondary beltway that was going to be created cutting through a bunch more neighborhoods. So they'd already built the central artery through downtown Boston, separating the north end from the rest of the city, tearing tons of residents out and displacing them, promising them they'd be able to move back in, but no. Surprise. There's going to be some uncomfortable redlining discussions, and I don't know how to work it all in. I want to tell the story of Boston, and I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Boston does not have a great racial history. Even looking at it very surface level, Boston Red Sox were the last team in the major leagues to integrate a black player. Yawkey, the former owner of the team, has since had his name stripped from the street outside of Fenway Park. It's now David Ortiz Way. And I couldn't be a bigger fan of that change, honestly. Big Poppy for the win. Freeway Revolt in San Francisco. Yeah, actually, so there are a couple references to San Francisco in my writing, and I'm still trying to decide how to weave them in, Kanga. I'm not sure. Boston technically can lay claim to the most made land in the United States. It's possible that San Francisco could be a contender, but they didn't document it well. So San Francisco made thousands of acres of land. Boston made over 5,000 acres of land. So San Francisco, not only in terms of made land, has some similar stories and trials and tribulations. San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Chicago, all had similar fights going on around the same time, wanting to stop highway expansion. Highways, like, I don't. It's not the kind of stream that we have the time to get into this, but like, there's a lot of big money in American politics, and like the car companies and the gas companies have been lobbying for a very long time, and highway planning and urbanization has been very much part of that. And there were a lot of movements, San Francisco being a very famous one, DC being another one, that were particularly successful and Bostonians borrowed from because they were very late to the game. Boston was first in so many things, like largest town in 13 colonies for 100 years. They were the first public park, the first subway. They did all these things first, and then with some really important things, they came in way too late. Like integrating ball players, like fighting highways being built through your cities. They're like, let's just see how this shakes out. Let's wait till the absolute last minute. There was another beltway that was planned that actually I'm going to build in New Boston. So I'm going to build the beltway that never got built, but we're going to design around it instead of building houses to then tear them out, which is what would have happened. Would have been a mess. Would have destroyed communities even more than the Central Artery project in the 50s. But they were able to basically put the stop to that highway project. And I don't even know if it still exists, but there was, for the longest time in my childhood, I remember it, a highway that just ended at nothing. There were like Jersey barriers at the end because they were going to build a highway through here, and this is where it stops. So there was just like literally a dead end highway where it was just like, there's an exit and like, you can't go past this exit. Because up there is just a highway that never got built in the 60s because of that pushback. Now, the interesting thing with Boston and that pushback is they had the first subway. They had an aging, archaic transport system. And they said, hey, you know what? We're not going to tear communities apart. We're going to upgrade the transit system. Except that last part was a joke and they didn't actually touch it for the next 40 or 50 years. And only just now in 2025 are we starting to climb out of some of the problems that were created way back as far as lack of planning in the 60s, which is just insane to think about. It has changed the shape of my writing though in just the last year. So my writing about the T, we call it the T. It is the M. Do they have it on here? Do they not even have it on here? They don't even say what the T is in the book on the T? Well, that's awkward. You'd think that that would be one of the things that you would teach the kids. But I guess they don't need to know all that crap when you just call it the T. So if you're ever wondering, if you ever go to Boston and somebody says like take the T or look for the T stop, the T is the subway. The MBTA is the Massachusetts Bay Transport Authority. The T is the T. It's the T. It's the subway, the T. The letter T. That's what it is. And the writing that I was putting together, I've been working on this documentary for a while. So I had at least a rough outline. I knew one of the things I wanted to talk about was the T. And if I had finished the documentary a year ago, I would tell you that, hey, we had this, the first subway, and then we canceled highway plans, and then we were going to build it out, and we never touched it. Except ... 2025 was the year that we touched it. So we got a new director of the T, and they're actually fixing old rails and focusing on the timing of lines and making sure that there are regular trains, that there is service at all hours, because regardless of what time you work, you should still be able to get to and from work if you don't have a car. And we'll talk more in the New Boston build. But one of the stupid, really frustrating things is how single point of failure Boston Transit is. Hang on a second. MBTA map. Images. Okay. Save image as. Hopefully this is a big enough resolution. Let's see. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. So this is the T map. Now you don't need to know Boston that well. If you know my build again, like you may recognize some of the shape of the things that are happening here. The red line starting at Alewife in the top left, that is Cambridge. You'll notice Harvard, Central Square, Kendall, MIT, right? Like this is Cambridge. Now, imagine that if you're in Cambridge and this one tunnel has to get worked on, which it did. This tunnel had to get worked on that goes from Kendall down to Park Street, or technically to Charles. That got shut down and it completely cuts off all of Cambridge from the T. You don't have subway service because all you can do is go to Cambridge and back. You can't even cross the river. It's a single point of failure. It's not well designed. And the other thing that doesn't work well with this is there's not good bus routes that support it as a beltway either. So let's say you live in Cambridge. You work in downtown. So we'll take the red line in. But we're going to go see the Red Sox. So we take the red line up to Park Street to take the green line over to Fenway. And then when you want to go back home, you have to take the T back into the center of the city to connect to the red line to head back out. It's not well designed. Now, this is going to seem a whole hell of a lot more confusing to some people. Is AC still here? Montreal Metro, I think, would adhere to similar design practice. Not as ours, as what I'm about to show. Let's look at... I gotta find a better map for this. This isn't well labeled, but it's actually from Wikipedia, and it's more what I'm looking for. So save image as... here. Okay, this is the Paris Metro map. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom it back out. This is the Paris Metro map. Now, this is admittedly super confusing because you're like, I need to get from here to here. I have like 10 different choices. How the hell do I get there? Any of those 10 choices, because you can go from the blue line to the yellow line to the pink line to the orange line. And like maybe if there's construction shutting down an entire line, you have to take an extra 2 stops or you have to walk an extra block. But it doesn't shut down the entire system because one tunnel's getting worked on. And that is the problem with Boston is a single point of failure in many, many spots. Now, one of the things that they did do this year is they removed a ton of slow zones. So slow zones are where you have to slow down because of where a subway car interacts with traffic. And they've gotten away from a bunch of those by diverting tracks, bypassing traffic, different traffic light signals and throughways. Like there's ways we can solve those problems that they just have not been looking at. So it's nice that we're starting to see, you know, just within a calendar year, this new guy that's running the MBTA, what is Phil Ang? I want to get his name right. Is it Phil Ang? Philip Eng, E-N-G. Born in '61, American civil engineer, transit executive, currently serving as the interim secretary of Massachusetts Department of Transportation, MassDOT, and general manager of the MBTA. So he has actually gotten some pretty big props. Like people seem to be fans of him, which is not something that you would normally think of having fans, a DOT representative. But when you have an old archaic system and you start to fix it, that's pretty appealing to a lot of people, especially like transit and the Boston T is kind of a weird conundrum because it's like, who really needs it? You need people to pay into it, right? You need people to pay into it to fund it. but you discourage commuters from taking it, because when that one tunnel goes out in Cambridge, like all of a sudden the T is not a reliable way to get into the city. So like, I'll just take my car. I'll just drive in. I'll do that other thing, which pulls the dollars out of the system. The people that can afford not to do it, choosing not to do it, defunds the system in a way where now you're hurting it for the people that really, really need it. The people that is their only option, that when that tunnel goes down, they end up taking a bus from frickin' Cambridge over to Alston so that they can get on the end of the Green Line and head back into the city that way. And they add another hour and a half to their time when it should have been 2 T stops away across the river, you know? So it's nice that we are, again, it has changed the dynamic of how I am writing that section of the video, because it would have been, again, 1960s ... and then we didn't do anything for 50 years. But now it's 1960s ... we didn't do anything for 49 years. And now here's the progress. So at least there's an update. That's positive, I guess. There's potential here. So it's shifting. The longer I take to write this thing, the more it is shifting. You have a neighborhood called North Beach. It's nowhere near the beach. Here I am syncing up on chat like 10 minutes later. Sorry. Okay, Free Revolt we talked about. Boston Big Dig Underground Highway to relieve Boston's traffic problems, ripping out. Yeah. So Dustin, I don't know if you been around for some of my builds, the new Boston build. In fact, why don't we can talk about that for a minute. Let's save where we're at. 657 million. Let's go. Ignore the giant fire over here. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, one more time.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
The Big Dig is fascinating. It's getting its own subsection of that video. It is also one of the few things that I did not correct in my new Boston build. Okay, we saved Riverrun. It's on fire, sure, but it has 657 million, 657. Okay, let's load up New Boston. Check out where we're at. This one we're playing with the cheats. But I wanted to kind of like step in and not. If anybody's seen Franklin's really cool. Franklin is a city by a creator called Do Not Eat, and he created Philadelphia from like the 1680s on, and like grew it as it grew. And it's not really that easy to do with Boston. Philadelphia was planned almost 50 years later on a grid. Boston is anything but a grid. There's microgrids here or there, but they're so disconnected. It was built out on a peninsula. Oh no, did I move all these images? No, I did not. No, okay. I had all these cool infographics. Shut up, Will Smith. I had all these cool infographics. I'll have to pull them back out. What on earth did I do with those? I must have put those in my Boston folder. What did I do with those? Boston's, it's got to be these, right? Views, extra large, it's those. Okay, so Boston is, well, here's Boston. The red line is the initial shoreline. The X in the line is the long wharf, which you can still see the scar of. But essentially the red line is what the landmass originally looked like. It was surrounded by water. And not only water, but tidal flats that were very shallow, making it difficult to bring goods onto shore. And it was over, especially in the 17 and 1800s, there was a big push to make a bunch of land. And I'll just skip to the end graphic here. but you can kind of see where all these various parts of the city were built up. Land did not exist in those colored in areas, and it was filled in and made habitable, right? It was just muddy water. And essentially all that was built up over the years. Now, when I started recreating this, and I'll show you where we're at here. So we've got Boston Common, we've got Beacon Hill, and it is a bit of a hill. We got to move in some of the skyscrapers and stuff. Don't mind all the turned off stuff over there. That's not actually in the build yet. We've got the very chaotic and cluttered North End with very tiny European high density buildings, very narrow streets. It's kind of ugly to look at from up above, but it's kind of on point with the design. We're trying to recreate, but also improve in some ways. One of the things that I wanted to actively undertake and talk about during a stream is the Big Dig. And the Big Dig, essentially, this is the highway, the central artery that tore apart the city in the 1950s. So imagine, a city, a peninsula, and then all of a sudden a highway comes through and completely cuts off the North End, or Little Italy. I mean, nobody in Boston calls it Little Italy, it's the North End, but it is the Italian section. It's like arguably, I think the most famous Little Italy. And I'm sure there will be detractors in the chat, but I'm sorry, it's the original Little Italy. And it totally separated it from the city. But what they did was they did a project called the Big Dig. And the idea was, let's take the highway from right about here, right where it crosses over into Boston proper, across the water. We're going to bury it, and it's not going to come out until the south side of Boston, where all this traffic is. I wouldn't worry about that. I want to bet where all these are going. They're all going to the zoo. That's what they do. That's where those cars go. Anyways, disregard the traffic there. I'm sure it's fine. We can fix it real quick. Pro tip, use the reverse direction tool, and then traffic should just disappear, right? As soon as they can move, they'll disappear because you can't path that way now. Go away, guys. You go away too? No? Okay. All right. Anyways, that's how you fix traffic in city skylines. So we're not trying to make this one go well. Anyways, the project of the Big Dig is remarkable on so many levels. It is, to this day, the most expensive highway project or infrastructure project in American history. Think about any famous highway expansion, major highway remodel. It dwarfs the cost of this thing. It was over budget. It was overdue. It was insanely expensive. Let me get a quick estimate here. The Big Dig. Planning began 1982. Construction carried out 91 to 2006. It looked like a giant dirt pit in all of the surrounding area for most of my teenage years. It was just a giant pile of dirt. They dug it out underneath the existing highway. It was crazy. It was really crazy to see. I'll see what kind of footage I can use for that. I'm not even sure. But I'll see what I can dig up. I may even I love the idea of this documentary so much, I might reach out to WGBH and see if I can get footage from them, permission to use it from them. Where's the cost though? The project was originally scheduled to be completed in 98. It did not get finished until 2007. At an estimated cost of $2.8 billion. That's $7.4 billion adjusted for inflation as of 2020. The project was completed at $14.6 billion, a cost overrun of 97% adjusted for inflation. Insane. Also, I am still terrified to this day because I know what happened. And every time I drive in that frickin' tunnel, I catch myself glancing up at the ceiling. So if you look in a tunnel, right, you got the walls, and it's going under the city, it's going under the water, there's it's a giant concrete tunnel that they shove into place. they basically had like these prefab tunnel bits, and they just slide them in and weld them together underwater, and then they pour concrete around it, and it's a process. But there are these giant concrete slabs in the ceiling, and it's horrible to even say. There was a guy driving his car through the tunnel, and one of those slabs fell, and it fell perfectly on his car. And like, if you've ever seen a car come out of a crusher, it looked like that, except there was a guy driving it in the tunnel when it happened. So rest in peace to that dude. But I think about that every time I drive in that freaking tunnel. Every time I drive in that tunnel. That's my anxiety. It's my anxiety at work, reminding me that one person died here once. Don't worry about, the 30 miles of road you just drove 87 miles an hour 2 feet away from somebody's bumper with somebody 2 feet behind you. That wasn't the risky part. It's probably one of these ceiling tiles that's going to get you. Oh, okay. Biggest or oldest Chinatown? Wait a minute. No, you can't tell me oldest Chinatown. No. $1870s? Okay, maybe. You could probably lay claim to oldest. Okay. I guess it makes sense they didn't want to come all the way around to the East Coast. Alive, all my Chrome save passwords are deleted? Okay, so problem number 1 solved. Problem number 2, everybody. Adia's going to need help getting into her websites tomorrow. Yeah, the gold rush for sure. Do I try to avoid the big... I mean, I try to avoid driving in Boston as much as possible. I don't do it a lot. I don't drive a lot. I spend like 12 hours a day at this desk between the work I do on my day job and YouTube, and I'm not driving a lot. But anytime we go like into the city proper, then I'll drive close. I'm a fan of swapping out for transit whenever we can. You know what I still haven't done with my wife though? Like, we drive in to Fenway games a fair amount. If we don't just straight up take the red line in. If I don't take the red line in, but I don't think I've ever done like a night game with my wife and take the red line out. That's a vibe, especially if they just won. That's a vibe. A bunch of drunk Red Sox fans coming off of a win, cramming into a sweaty old red line train in Cambridge. Well, I should say green line to red line. City of Boston has a rock band named after Boston. See, that's where you're mistaken. Those guys are so old. The city's named after the band. No, not really. They also only, I think, have one hit, right? And why can I not think of the name of it now? Boston. I can picture the album art. I wanted to, for a second, say the boys are back in town, but that's Thin Lizzy. More Than a Feeling? Is More Than a Feeling Boston? More Than a Feeling. Yeah, that's their hit. It's the first song off the Boston album called Boston. Rock and roll band, I bet some people may know if you're familiar with music from that era. maybe Let Me Take You Home Tonight, but More Than a Feeling is definitely their big hit. I would assume they would qualify as a one-hit wonder. There's actually a fair amount of artists from Boston. I'm trying to think I'm not going to come up with a lot off the top of my head, but Aerosmith, Dropkick Murphys, Mighty Mighty Bosstones. I want to say Morphine, but I'm pretty sure last time I looked up, Morphine was from Cambridge, technically. Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, if you're into hip hop, or Guru. I think they list Gangstar as technically from Boston, but Guru's from Boston. Premier's from New York, right? Premier's from New York. Where the hell's DJ Premier from? This stream is just me looking up shit on Wikipedia. Houston, Texas. Holy crap. I didn't know that. But yeah, Guru is definitely a Boston native. I love Guru. Man. Rip Guru. When did he die? Like at least a decade ago. It's been a long time. 2010. Guru is one of the best. Absolutely. Born in Roxbury, which is down here somewhere. We'll be over here. Do we empty this while we're at it? I guess. Let's not meteor it. That's the last thing Boston needs right now. Collapse, please. And I guess I could, we could just make this. We're gonna make this crematorium. We don't need to keep emptying that. We'll eventually set that up right. I think we do have one I was gonna fill up here, but then I keep emptying it because it is providing service and I just want things to work. So I come around on the ideas. I don't know, but I'm excited about this. I think I've been so distracted and gone off on so many tangents, including looking up when Guru died and whether or not Premier is from New York, which apparently he's not. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do the artery built like this above ground is because I wanted to go through the process, the nightmare of burying it. And in retrospect, I probably will regret it. But I did want to bury it and talk about the Big Dig a little bit. For those of you that have heard me refer to it but don't really know, I am working on this idea of what was going to be a combo documentary build, but they're two separate ideas now. I'm rebuilding New Boston, and separately, I will be doing a documentary about how Boston got its crazy shapes. And again, a big part of that is because of how the landmass, it wasn't there, and they built up little bits by little bits. And actually on the east coast of Boston, so North End side and Government Center, you can see how the roads are kind of almost like concentric circles of a tree growing outwards. And essentially that is from what's called wharfing out. So they would build a couple wharfs out into the water, and then they'd build a wall at the end and then fill in the land in between it. They would dump land. They shaved down mountains. They used actual trash. There's some horrific things that happened when it comes to how they filled that land in. But you can kind of see where we'll build a new wall out to here and this becomes our new external road, until they ran out of room in 50 years and then did it again. And just all these roads have these kind of parallel but not really parallel additions to them. And it's just so wild to see. And again, I think it's a really interesting story that I've seen videos just explain away in a sentence, and it really has a ton of interesting history behind it. I'm still not entirely sure what the title of it is, how Boston streets got their shape or something like that. But it'll be a deep dive into the history and understanding why the streets are shaped that way, and you can't understand it without understanding the history, and the history is just so fun to get into. For me, I think there's some really impactful stuff. Boston is a historically significant city in the United States because it was so early, right? Founded in 1630, first subway, first park, lays claim to the title Cradle of Liberty, even though Philadelphia also claims it. So much of the revolution and the founding of the Declaration of Independence between Boston and Philadelphia, like so much of it happened there. Okay, so let me see. Let me get caught up again. Adia's got her passwords all set up, hopefully. Hopefully she can still get into her sites. We talked about the Boston band. What did we talk? I named a few, right? Dropkicks, Bosstones, Aerosmith, Boston, Ed OG. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's some other ones that I just can't think of. Cambridge, Massachusetts, or Cambridge, Canada. I didn't know. Apologies. I did not know there was a Cambridge, Canada until just now when I read that out loud. So it's tough for me to say. I don't have a good comparative. I love, like, Cambridge is a fun. It's a fun city. It's not as built up as Boston is. Cities compete. Like, it was a competitor to Boston, and there's a lot of the same architecture and many similarities. You have some amazing institutions there like Harvard and MIT, and there is one of the best burgers that I have ever had in my frickin' life. What the hell is the name of it? Mr. Bartley's Burger Cottage. It's one of the weirdest restaurants I've ever been to. I am not entirely sure how they can have a sit-down restaurant without a restroom, but they do. And the nearest restroom is in a mall like a quarter mile down the road. And I went there many, many a times for a lunchtime burger when down in the city for meetings. And invariably, I would order my burger and then go take a 15-minute walk to go take a leak and come back. And then my burger would be ready. It was really inconvenient not having a bathroom in there. But other than that, the burgers are amazing. If you're ever in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Mr. Bartley's Burger Cottage, I highly recommend. Just not if you need the restroom. Let me see. HBO John Adams feature historic Boston. John Adams in turn. Wait, what is it? What is this on HBO? Good historical reference. Also, Assassin's Creed's one in America. Wait, was Assassin's Creed with Kenway? Not Kenway. The Native American? Did that take place in Boston? Do I not remember this? Did I completely blank out that Assassin's Creed 3 is Boston? Right? Because Assassin's Creed 2 is the trilogy, the Ezio trilogy, and then 3 was, I want to say Kenway, and I don't know if I'm remembering that right. Kenway was in Boston. Really? It's not good. It was not good enough for me to go back and play again, but I'm definitely intrigued to go watch a little footage of that running around. And the John Adams is a great documentary. Okay. I'm gonna check that out, Michaela. That sounds good. I could get down with that. Obviously, I like to geek out about historical things, especially Boston. So, sold. And the show called Turn was in New York and Boston. Interesting. Okay. Those 1x1s look really funny in a row next to one another. They don't. There's not a lot of variation on that block. My God. Okay, so this is New Boston. It needs some work. So like, if we take a look, I wonder if I have that GIF still, or is it GIF or is it MP4? Where did I put it? Maybe it's in, is it in Resolve? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here, check this out. This is the before and after, if you will, a fade between what I'm doing and what is the actual map. It's pretty good. Like, ignore Cambridge in the top left. The river is off. but the main structure of the streets is pretty close. And this is the part that I'm focusing on for this build. We are going to do the airport. We're going to do a casino up in Everett where the casino is. So there's still like things that are going to be on the periphery. I wish I had an image of the beltway that was going to be here, but essentially the beltway that they fought and fought against and won essentially would have cut through these neighborhoods here, and this is going to become the edge of my city, is what would have been called the 695 beltway, connecting the highways in the area with internal roads coming further into the city. It's not bad from a design perspective, but we're not tearing apart neighborhoods and people's lives to do it. And that's the difference, is that when this highway came through here, they moved a lot of people out, and they told them they could come back and they couldn't. And they just never made good on that. Again, there's some uncomfortable talks that we'll have during the documentary. It's going to be, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I honestly can't see telling the story that I want to tell. I think 45 minutes is conservative. I think I'm going to have to info dump for a bit because there's a lot to talk about. So if that is your thing, subscribe and stay tuned. This is a creative build based on Boston. Some people have asked, like, why are the streets such a mess? Because Boston, because we're recapturing some of it and trying to fix some of it, but not all of it. We definitely want it to feel like Boston, and we'll make improvements as we go. Also, we saw a little bit of Riverrun tonight. That's my city that's at 657 million. We're going to get that up to 1 billion, and then we'll make it a little bit more of a utopia. Right now, we're not trying to make it the best it could be. We're just trying to make money off of it, and eventually we'll we'll switch back and we'll get settled in and finalize the build. I don't want to disrupt that one too much. If you were here earlier, or if you're wondering like what the heck happened to the Cities 2 in the title, we started playing Cities 2. I got tired of it real quick, and then I found out that Ice Flake Studios has completely redesigned their website and is hiding half the games that were horribly rated to like not claim them as part of their resume anymore. So on the day that CO was announced to be leaving, they said, hey, Ice Flake's taking over. I went to Ice Flake's website and they had all these games on there. A bunch of them weren't well reviewed. And now they've removed most of those references. Almost like they understand it's a bad look that this may not actually be the studio that's going to save the day. I'm going to guess they're aware of that based on how they rebranded the site, but there's broken links and stuff. Like, it's still not well done, so they got their work cut out for them. I will be here to check it out, but yeah, building a city and City Skylines until I uninstall turned into until I rage about the state of Cities 2 and just go back to playing Cities 1. And that's where we're at. Again, don't mind the traffic here. There's like 3 exits in this entire city. It's about capturing the road framework, and the highway's not been part of it because we are going to bury that just like the real Big Dig. We're going to take all that highway, we're going to bury it underground. Not to improve traffic flow, but just so you don't have to look at it. And it's only going to cost twice as much as we originally promised. And the amount of GDP of a small country. But it's totally going to be worth it because you won't see the traffic anymore. Unless you're a commuter in the traffic, and then you'll just be stuck in a smoggy tunnel underneath the ground with no radio reception or means of getting assistance if anything happens. But that is a problem for another time and place. In fact, we won't be digging up for the Big Dig anytime too soon. But if you were at all interested in any of that, stick around, subscribe, hit the like if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for being part of this ridiculous rambling conversation tonight. I get some documentaries and things to check out. And I'll keep myself busy until the next one, which will probably be... What is today? Is today Friday? It'll probably be next week at this point. I don't know. I like to go live a couple times a week. 9 p.m. Eastern is the time I usually try and go live. Hope to see you for some of those. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And I hope to see you on the next one. Pepe does too. There's some Pepe love. So thank you so much. Again, yeah, like, subscribe, become a member for as little as 99 cents if you want to support this nonsense. I don't know, but, you know, Hey, it's appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you on the next one. Have a good Friday and a rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you on a stream coming up very soon. And I promise in 2026, more videos than in 2025. But considering I only posted 3 videos last year, it should be an easy bar to get over. But still, I may find a way to disappoint you. Only way to find out is to stay tuned with a subscription. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.